And hello, everybody. Welcome into this lovely little stream. Well, lovely as it can be, I suppose. Yeah, welcome to this stream where today I'm playing some Spyro through the Reignited trilogy, which is a remake of the first three Spyro games from the PlayStation 1 from 2018. And yeah, it's fun. I like it. Yeah, it's been a bit since I last streamed. Also, I'm streaming on a Monday, which is very out of the ordinary. I usually stream on a Fridays and Sundays and occasionally a Wednesday. But I wasn't really comfortable with streaming last week on Friday and Sunday for a couple reasons, but mostly because here in the UK we're experiencing some more heat waves, which is not fun. The reason I'm streaming today is because this is kind of like the last day before the heat wave properly kicks off, and it's like going to be a record-breaking one apparently. So yeah, for like June at least, it's going to be record-breaking, which is not fun. I'm not looking forward to that. So this is kind of like the last day, the only day I really have this week to do a stream, because the rest of the week is going to be awful, and I have a policy against streaming if the temperature is too high, because for my own safety and the safety of all the tech in this room. Don't want it to get too overheated. I might be able to stream on Sunday because I think it would have calmed down a bit by then. It might be more like it is today. And it's not like it's not hot today though. Like, it's pretty hot, especially in this room. However hot it is outside, it's warmer in this room, and there's nothing I can really do about it. So yeah, so I might not stream for too long, but yeah, so I'm playing some Spyro. I wanted to play something simple and fun today. I was playing The Legend of Zelda, but again, I want to play something a bit more low-key and simple today. And if I don't intend on streaming for too long, then this game's kind of perfect for that, because this game isn't that long anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna hit my save slots. See, I played this game a good few times. I've gotten 112% twice apparently. I don't remember doing it twice. 112% I think is the highest. Like the first game is 120%, second game is 100%, and for some weird reason the third game is 117%. I don't know why that is. It's a very random number. But yeah, so I'm just going to start with this empty save file. I haven't played this in a while. Well, that's not technically true. I booted this game up a couple weeks ago for fun, but I didn't continue. I was only playing it for a little bit just to see what it was like, or just to, you know, reminisce, and then I stopped. So I want to play these games on stream though. At least I wanted to eventually, and with the new recent Spyro game getting announced, I felt all the more motivated. So yeah, I'd like to do that. So let's start up a new game. I love the title screen. It's got the artwork of Spyro. So adorable. Anyway, Spyro the Dragon, here we go. Also, the stream is limited to 30 FPS because this game is limited to 30 FPS on consoles for some reason. I mean, that makes sense because this was this is a PS4 game, but I'm sure it could have been running on at 60 if they upgraded it for PS5, but they never did that.
Okay, rolling.
I don't mind 30 FPS, though it depends how it is.
5 worlds, or is it 6? For a dragon's age. We now have 12,000 treasure.
Oh, there he goes. I guess the subtitles aren't on by default.
Now, I understand he's found a magic spell to turn gems into warriors for his cause.
I'll take that question. Nasty Nork is a simple creature.
Does he have memes on his wall?
He has been contained in a remote world and is no threat to the Dragon Kingdom. No threat!
Also, I might need to balance the audio. I don't know how loud this game gets, so...
Ugly? That does it!
What are all those letters? Also, yeah, that's pretty loud.
Huh? Looks like I've got some things to do.
Okay. I used to think that the entire point of this game's plot was that Spyro gets overlooked because he's so small, but the camera just panned onto him, so... Obviously, that's probably not it. Maybe the spell missed him, but the camera could see him. Anyway, let me check the settings, see if I can put on some subtitles just in case. So camera, motion blur, I guess I'll turn that off. Invert the camera, I want that. Camera active, yes. Controls, move list. it doesn't give the option to change any of this, does it? I don't see why I'd want to. Control scheme? Oh, you can change it. Reignited, retro. I'll keep it to the reignited. Vibration on, sound, volumes. Yeah, I'll just have all that. Music, dynamic music. Sure, why not? Yeah, so I've actually... hold on. Let me just check the volume. And because I'm paranoid, I'm gonna like refresh this one more time. Yeah, the volume should be fine. Oh, the dragons look so cool, I forgot.
Thank you for releasing me, Spyro.
I'll up the volume a tad.
10 dragons in the artisan world, then find the balloonist. He'll transport you to the next world.
What about Nasty Nork? I'm going after him.
Find dragons first. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, so I haven't gone back to this game in a while. This isn't actually even my first time playing this game, really. Well, no, it's not. Obviously, it's not my first time playing it. I mean, it's not my first time streaming it. I've actually streamed this game once before. But just this first one. Again, the Reignited trilogy is made up of the first 3 Spyro games. Sorry, I'm still just, like, adjusting the volume. Yeah, the Reignited trilogy is made up of the first 3 Spyro games, remade from the PlayStation 1. And I've streamed the first of those 3 before, but the other 2 I have not. The reason I streamed the first one was because it was like years ago. It was still when I was very new to streaming. I think it was to celebrate my birthday. Like one day I decided to play this on my birthday. Yeah, although back then I was trying to essentially beat the entire game in a single stream, which I think I ended up doing. Well, not just beat the game, but also 100% it in one stream. And I think I was successful in doing that. I think I did achieve that goal, but it was quite a lot. Like, I thought, this game is super short, and it is, but like, for a single stream, it took me, like, I don't know, like 5.5 hours, which is on the longer side for me. Oh, I got a skill point. Which is on the longer side for me. Like, I've streamed longer than that before, but, you know, it's, if I'm getting to about 5 hours, then that's when I would consider it a long stream. Anyway, in case you don't know how Spyro works, they're like little collectathon platformer where you run around and you collect treasure and stuff. But you also have to collect a variety of other things too. Still trying to find a good audio balance for this game. Sound effects. Yeah, and I haven't gone back to this game really since that time I streamed it because, or this trilogy in general, because I recently discovered something about it that I'm not too fond of. And I'm kind of already, as I'm playing right now, getting used to it, so it's not too bad. But this game has some frame rate problems, which never bothered me when I first played this trilogy. But it's over the years I've become more sensitive to frame rates and stuff like that in general, so I guess it wasn't a problem, but now it is a bit more. Yeah, this game has a little bit of a frame rate issue, where like, and not that it's at 30, like it's locked at 30, or at least it's capped at 30, which is a shame, but considering this was for the PS4 and the visuals are like they are and there's so much detail, it makes sense that it'd be 30 FPS on PS4, but I'm playing it on PS5 through backwards compatibility. Unfortunately, there is no PS5 version of this game. But it's a shame because they could have patched this game like they did with a lot of PS4 games to make it so that it does run at a higher frame rate when on a PS5. Unfortunately, they never did that because I guess Activision didn't see the point. I don't know. Crash Bandicoot didn't get that treatment either, so it's not just Spyro. Which sucks. But, you know, 30 FPS is fine. Obviously, I'd prefer 60 if it's ever an option. I'll go for that. But 30 FPS is fine as long as it's, like, a stable 30. And while the frame rate in this game is stable at 30, it never really dips. I've recently come to learn about something called frame pacing. Now, I don't fully understand what frame pacing means, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know everything about it. But from what I understand, it's frame pacing is when the frames, well, it's kind of in the name, like the frames just don't play at the exact correct times. Something like that, like frames happen like somewhat delayed or something like that. I'm not sure. Maybe some frames happen too early. I don't know. That's like kind of what I think it might be. That's like what my understanding, like based on the name and what I've heard about it. I might be completely wrong, or I might be only half right. I don't know. But yeah, essentially, it's not so. What I'm getting at is that it's not so much that the frame rate dips, because it doesn't really. As especially being played on a PS5, it's just that the frames are maybe mistimed, which can sometimes lead to this game looking kind of choppy. Oh, look at Spyro, he's so cute. He was kind of doing like the dragon equivalent of Cat's aeroplane ears. Spyro has a lot of cat-like qualities with his animation in this game, and it's really cute. I'm a cat person. I've never had a cat, but I'm a cat person. I'm a cat person without a cat. I've always wanted a cat, but my parents, one of my parents were always allergic, so. But I'll get a cat someday. I never had a cat as a child, in other words. Yeah, what I'm getting at is that this game has some mild frame rate issues. As I'm playing it now, it's not that bad. I did turn off the motion blur, because this game has some rather intense motion blur, but they have an option to turn it off. So I've turned that off, which I don't know if that helps. I would think that the motion blur would actually make the frames appear a bit smoother, because it's kind of disguising the lower frame rate, but on the other hand, I like the clearer picture that I'm getting. And maybe it seems better, because I was like playing this game on the big TV in the living room downstairs a couple weeks ago, and just to test it out, and it felt choppier there, but playing it on my like a higher quality monitor up here, it doesn't seem quite so bad. So I don't know. I think my eyes just need to adjust. I'm already starting to adjust. But anyway, in addition to collecting gems, your main objective is to collect these dragons. You gotta rescue these elder dragons. There's a handful of them in each level, and the levels are pretty short and small. It's like quantity. But some of them are hidden more deviously than others. But yeah, collecting all the dragons is your main goal, but you also got to collect these gems as well. And the amount that's in each level differs depending on the level. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. But, you know, that's the goal. You don't actually have to collect gems in order to beat the game. I think the bare essentials to beat the game is just collecting the dragons. The gems is just extra if you want to go for 100%. You do get rewards, though, for collecting all the stuff, though, so I want to do that. This game isn't really that long anyway, so 100%ing it will only probably take a stream or two, depending on how long I decide to stream today. Maybe 3, it depends. Yeah, and it's fun. You just kind of run around, you collect stuff, you torch enemies, and you have a good time. And the game is so colourful and purdy, and Spyro is adorable. Also, they announced a new Spyro game recently at the Xbox event, like a week or so ago. So that's exciting. It's kind of made me feel like playing some Spyro again. Anyway, it seems like I've collected everything in this level. This is mainly just like the hub world, though. So I can go. So I have a choice of various different worlds to go through these big old portal archways. Since this one is right here, let's go to Stone Hill. Oh yeah, I think the loading times in this game are a bit much as well. I think the game runs a lot better on PC, obviously depending on your specs. It can go high frame rates, and I think the loading times might be better depending on your specs. I don't know. It depends how this game is optimized for PC. Some PC ports can be a little bit grubby or buggy when under certain situations. Yeah, the option to playing this game on PC is not an option for me, so I'm just playing it on my PS5. which does mean it is again locked at 30, but 30 is fine as long as it's stable enough. And my eyes are already kind of adjusting to it, so... Also, hello there, Damien. I do remember your username. It's been quite a while since I've seen it, though. Hello, how are you? I don't think you need to collect all of anything. Each world wants different benchmarks of different things. I think ones want a certain amount of gems, one dragons, one dragon eggs. Really? Huh. I forgot about the dragon eggs. I thought that you at least needed to get at least most of the dragons, because they're like the main point of the game's plot. I'm pretty sure the gems are largely optional. I don't remember exactly. I intend on collecting everything anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But, yeah, I don't really know exactly what the minimum requirements is. Actually, now that you think about it, there is the balloonist in each world, which takes you to the next world. And if I recall, I think the balloonist actually does... is the one who's essentially is like, I need you to collect a certain amount of this thing or this thing. I don't think it's always dragons, now that I think about it. I think sometimes it's like, oh, if you collect a certain amount of gems, I'll take you to the next world. I think it is like that now that you mention it. I never really remember stuff like that because I always get everything. So I never really pay attention to what he says. Yeah. Also, the dragons, when you free them, each one has their own cutscene. Some of them are really simple, where they just say thanks and move on. But a lot of them tend to give you advice on, essentially their tutorials, like giving you advice on how to play. Which is nice, which is a nice little tutorial system. Also, I hope me and the game sound okay. I've been trying to keep an eye on the game's volume, so hopefully it's at a decent volume to where it's not overpowering my voice. Also, I was having some problems with my microphone right before starting the stream, so I hope that's okay now. Like, it sounds normal. Yeah, it was really weird. Also, let's see what this guy says.
After you've freed all the dragons, pass through this fancy vortex thingamajigger. It'll take you back to the artisan home. But first, let me tell you a story.
No thanks. See ya!
I love the designs of the dragons. They're all so cool. Each one has their own design. Maybe some of them like slight recolors, but again, this is a remake of a PS1 game, and on the PS1, all the dragons looked basically the same, with maybe some slight variations in their body types and colors, but they largely look the same. But in this game, all the dragons look incredibly cool, and they even are made to kind of like suit the level they're in sometimes, so it's really cool. The game volume is a tiny bit low, but all seems fine. Okay, I can up it maybe a little bit then. The tricky thing with this game is that the music is sometimes a bit quiet, but the sound effects are quite high. In that case, I could maybe just lower the sound effects, because I can do that. Maybe, because I can just lower the sound effects. Maybe by one notch, we'll see how that goes. Because like, the sound effects for like defeating enemies and breaking stuff seems quite loud, so... I was trying to balance the volume based on that, but I could just turn it down. And I'll up the volume on the stream as well, just a tad. There we go. But yeah, I was having some problems with my microphone, so hopefully my microphone sounds okay, like there's nothing wrong with it. I did do a quick test beforehand to make sure, but as long as it sounds the same as always. Yeah, it was weird. So I plugged in my microphone, and the microphone I have is the HyperX Quadcast 2. If that means anything to anybody. So it has like a, when you plug it in, the light on it turns red, like it has a light inside it that turns red. I think I can change the color actually. I don't know. It's always red though. Yeah, the light turns red when you plug it in to let you know that it's been plugged in. And then it also has this volume knob on the front that also has lights on it. And when I plugged it in, none of the lights came on, which was weird. And but I looked in my system settings, and it was recognizing that the microphone was plugged in, and it also seemed to pick up on the sound coming from it. So I was like, okay, so I guess the lights just aren't working, which was weird. I ended up trying to mess with it a bit. And I noticed that another feature that this microphone has is that when you... Oh, this name is named Gildus. I thought it was Glidus, which would make the fact that he teaches you to glide be really funny.
The action button to drop down mid-flight.
Yeah, so I noticed that another feature that my microphone has is that if you tap the top of it, it will mute, which I think a lot of microphones do, but this is the first microphone I've had that does that. Yeah, when you tap the top of it, it's supposed to mute, and usually the light inside of it would turn off when it's muted to indicate that it's muted, but because the lights were off already, it wasn't muting. It didn't seem to be muting at all, and also the volume knob didn't seem to work either because there were no lights to indicate that it was on. So the microphone seemed to be picking up sound, but none of the features and buttons on it were working, which was weird. That's never happened before. I've only had this microphone for about a year, and this is the first time this has happened. Thankfully, I just unplugged it from my PC, and also I unplugged the microphone itself, and then I plugged it all back in again, and now it seems to be working. Or at least I hope so. I hope it's working. If you've been hearing me up till now, then I guess I assume it's at least functioning. Whether or not it sounds like it's supposed to, I'll have to check after the stream. I think it should be fine, because I did a little sound check. But we'll see. But yeah, that's the first time it happened. It freaked me out a bit. I was starting to wonder if it was maybe like a sign that I shouldn't stream today, but I decided to push on anyway. It sounds normal. That's great to hear. Thank you, Damien. But yeah, Damien, I do recognize your username. I know you've been in this chat before. I don't remember what the last stream you were here for was, though. I can't put my finger on it. I know it's just been a while, but I hope you're doing alright. Usually I'm able to remember people's usernames based on what game I was playing at the time, but I don't really remember, so... Let me see, what was I on about? But yeah, so hopefully my microphone is good. It seems like it is, so I won't worry about it. Hopefully this doesn't happen again and it was just a weird little glitch. But yeah, I've only ever had 3 microphones in my life. Since I started streaming, I've only had 3. The first one I used was a karaoke microphone, because it's all that I had. My streaming setup even now is pretty low tech, pretty low specs, to be honest. It's good enough for my purposes, but I'm limited in a lot of ways, which is why I don't do more bombastic streams. It's why I also don't collaborate, because I'm not really able to. My PC isn't that strong and stuff like that. And computers are expensive, you know. But yeah, so the first microphone that I started out with was a karaoke microphone, because it's all that we had around the house. So I used that. I used that for like a few mones when I first started streaming. I remember I started streaming... Oh, this guy is awesome looking. Has he got piercings in his horns?
Sure.
And he's holding like a cup on his tail. Okay, we found all the dragons. But yeah, so I started off with a karaoke microphone, and it sounded about as good as you can imagine, which is not very. But you know, it's all I had at the time, and I used that for like a few months. I remember I started streaming at the end of September 2020. I remember that. And then I think I got a new microphone for Christmas that year, actually. I think my parents got it for me. That December on Christmas, they got me a microphone. I forget what it was called. Trust something? I forget what the brand was. Like Trust USB microphone, I don't remember, whatever. It was a microphone that was made for like streaming and stuff, I guess, but even so, it wasn't like the most expensive and not the most high quality thing in the world. But I used that for quite a long time. I used that for a good few years. This current microphone that I have now is what I replaced it with, and I've had this one for about a year. So I had that microphone. I had the Trust USB microphone, whatever it was called, for a good few years, like 3 or 4. It was never that great, but it was the best I could manage. And then I got this one, which is pretty good so far. I think it does depend how you use it, though. And also, you know, the highest quality stuff isn't What makes the best stream? I think it depends on the streamer in question. For the most part. I don't know. I like to think I'm not obnoxious to listen to, so that's a start. Also, hi there, Snack Pigeon. How you doing? Question for you, Snack Pigeon. Are you experiencing a heat wave where you are as well? And if so, is it as bad as it might be here? Because I heard that it's not so bad in certain other parts of the UK, but it's not great here. I'm a pigeon puddle. Pigeons are usually puddles sometimes. I mean, you don't fly around anywhere, because you can't, so you kind of just look like a puddle most of the time anyway. But you're probably more of a puddle. I do like it when pigeons become little blobs, though, little puddles. But yeah, it's not great. This is like the only chance I'll really get to stream this week, because I can't stream if the temperature's too high, because of my poor health, you know. So this is the only day I can really stream, because it's like, it's not great here today even, but it's gonna be worse for the rest of the week. It's like somewhat manageable today. Like, I'm quite warm right now, but I'm not that bad. I am wearing a long sleeve shirt though. I am wearing a long sleeve shirt because I'm saving all my short sleeve shirts for when the weather gets really bad. So I'm also, I like this shirt. It's my favorite shirt. It has a hood on it. It's like a t-shirt, but it has a hood on it, which I think is kind of weird, but also kind of cool, so I like it. If only aircon was a UK household standard. Yeah, that's the main issue, God. If we had aircon, then I wouldn't be complaining at all. I wouldn't have any problem. Also, you saw my announcement? Ah, okay. I wasn't sure if you would see something like that on my Discord. Yeah, my motivation for streaming has been really iffy lately, partially because of the heat, but also because there's construction happening at my house, which is going to make streaming a lot harder for me. But I'm going to try and do my best, and also I'm going to try and not sweat it too much. You know, so maybe I won't be able to stream for like a week or two. It's fine. It just, I have a routine, and when stuff changes, it makes me irked and uncomfortable. But it's not the end of the world.
Square, Spyro.
Look at this guy. What's the weather like up there?
Use the right stick to get a good look.
Maybe with Keir Starmer resigning next PM might make that happen. Yeah, then the next one. Yeah, maybe. Oh god, my voice. Maybe. I mean, at this point, the fact that we kind of need aircon is becoming more and more evident. So surely it'll become a thing at some point. I hate summer. Okay, there I said it. I've never really cared about summer, but ever since we started getting warmer summers in the past few years, I straight up just don't. I just hate it. Summer's the worst. It's the worst. And like, it frustrates me to no end when like people around here are like, oh man, it's gonna be nice and hot this summer, and I'm like, shut up. That's bad. No. Hot is bad. And it's like, ah, this lovely sun we're getting. Like, no. I want the rain. Rain is good. And I know I sound like a real wet blanket, but as a very indoorsy person, the summer heat is the only weather that actually inconveniences me. Like snow, rain, like, that stuff's fine. I don't care about any of that. My mum thinks aircon is a waste of money. I'm like, Mum, we are melting. like, yeah, we can get fans. I have a fan on right now, but because I'm streaming, I can't have it too high or else it'll interfere with my microphone. So I have to have it at a low volume, which doesn't really do much for me. And the fan is just really just throwing the heat into me. It's just kind of moving it around, which is something, but it's not much. Yeah, homes around here are heat traps. Also, I'm pretty sure my room is the hottest room in this house. because it's the smallest, the most cramped, and also it's right where the sun usually shines, so I'm essentially sitting in a pressure cooker most of the time. It's not too bad today, but I'm not going to want to be in here much later this week.
You've got to track him down and get that egg! Run! Run!
I should start putting ice in my water. Yeah, I don't see how anyone could think aircon is a waste of money at this point. Maybe that would have been a waste of money before, back when our summers were really nothing special at all. But yeah, we got to get some aircon going in here. Most places in the world have aircon. Well, I don't know. Some of the warmer places in the world have aircon, of course, where it's like a common thing in like America, I assume. We ain't got that. It sucks. It is. I don't want to like whine too much about the heat because I imagine that's not the most fun thing to listen to. But I just want to get it off my chest a little bit. But it's like I keep seeing a lot of like comments on like Instagram posts when people are talking about the heat here, and then it's like, you think you got it bad? We in this part of the world have it way worse. Like, stop complaining. And it's like, okay, fair enough. Yeah, there probably are parts of the world where it is probably a lot worse than this, but you're probably way better equipped for it because it's more common. You're probably more used to it as well. And on top of that, again, you're more equipped for it, so you probably have aircon. We don't have any of that. Not only are we not used to it, we don't have aircon. Homes are built to keep heat trapped inside, and our windows are tiny. We don't really have much breeze going on, and not many clouds to like shade the heat and stuff. So yeah, we I guess when it comes to lasting against the heat, we just gotta get good, I guess. Anyway, that's on my mind. So my streaming schedule is gonna be even more sporadic than it usually is because I got to account for the weather now, which sucks. I don't usually have to account for the weather when I stream. That's stupid. Like, yeah, I'd say, yeah, summer is my least favorite time of year because of this. I never really cared much about summer before, though. Again, I'm very indoorsy, so, like, the getting out there, doing summer activities, I don't really like doing any of that stuff, so I never really cared about summer before. The best part about summer when I was younger was the not being at school bit, which is not really a factor anymore, so I don't really see much of an upside with it, frankly. I got the egg. Okay, is there anything else I'm looking for? I still gotta find some gems. Thankfully, this game has a really handy feature where if you click in the left analog stick, your little dragonfly will point you to where missing treasures are. But he'll only point you to them, he won't show you how to get to it. So you gotta figure that part out yourself. But it's really handy, because it alleviates the needle in a haystack problem that a lot of collectathon platformers tend to have. Where you're just missing that one last thing, you know. That problem isn't really a thing here. I only ever really use Sparks' radar when I only have like one more thing to find. The dragonfly's name is Sparks, by the way. He's also your health meter, which is like a really clever way of indicating your health. Essentially, Sparks changes color whenever you get hit. He starts off at yellow, and then if you get hit, he becomes blue, then green, and then if he gets hit when he's green, he'll fly away, leaving you on your own. And then if you get hit after that, you die. So technically, Spyro himself can only really last a single hit. It's Sparks that's absorbing hits for him. But you know, Spyro's like a baby, so it makes sense. I don't actually know how old Spyro is. It's kind of hard to know how old a fictional, not to mention mythical creature is. Like, is human years the same thing as dragon years? Is dragon years a thing? I would assume, going by human years, Spyro in this game is maybe like, I don't know, 10? Maybe? That's usually my go-to when it comes to child characters in games. It's like they're maybe like around 10. He seems pretty young, maybe slightly younger than that, maybe like 8. Yeah, he's a little guy, so. But yeah, he's adorable. He's like a little guy. But yeah, Sparks is just absorbing the hits for him, so man, I love how this game looks, by the way. This level is a beauty. For the Reignited trilogy, they really zhuzhed up the visuals from the PS1, very obviously, but like, I love the particle effects, like the little the bits of dust in the air, or like the lights in the air. Look at the glow coming off of Sparks, and look at the sky and the stuff in the distance. Like all this little visual flair was added for the Reignited trilogy. Also, all these candles, which act as this level's primary light source. It's beautiful. And that wasn't the case with the PS1 version. It was just pretty simple lighting and stuff, really. I would love it if they patched this game to run better on PS5s. That'd be great. I feel like if they haven't done that already, then they probably won't. But then again, they did announce a new Spyro game, so maybe to celebrate that game's release, they might give this trilogy a bit of an upgrade. Maybe they'll make a Switch 2 version, and then they'll upgrade the other versions along with it. It would make sense, actually, now that I think about it, because the new Spyro game, Spyro A Realm Beyond, I think, and that title always makes me think of Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn. I've never played it, but I know the title, so it comes to my mind whenever I think of it. But yeah, the new Spyro game is going to be on Switch 2. So it would actually make a lot of sense to port the Reignited trilogy to Switch 2 so that people can play the original games, since the new one seems to be following up from them. That would make sense. And then they could upgrade the other versions while they're at it. They're doing the same thing with the Kingdom Hearts series. Kingdom Hearts 4 is still, to my surprise, going to be on the Switch 2. And they're porting the games to Switch 2 in preparation for that, which is a great idea. I think they should probably do the same thing with Spyro. Yeah, there's been a ton of really cool game announcements lately, if anyone's been keeping up with that sort of stuff. We recently had our, like, summer not E3 portion of the year, where a ton of stuff got announced. Surprisingly, a lot of stuff at the Xbox event, which I was not expecting, because I'm not even really I'm not an Xbox fan at all. I have an Xbox Series S, but I don't use it a ton. Yeah, not only did they announce a new Spyro game, which was such a cool way to which was so cool, and it was about time. But they also showed off a trailer for Persona 4 Revival, which I am super excited for. I am crazy excited for that. It comes out February, so I'm looking forward to that. I love a Persona game. It actually encouraged me to replay Persona 3 Reload again, because I never played the DLC.
Want to know a secret? Use the action button when you want to zoom in and look around.
Oh, your secret's safe with me.
What the hell is an action button? I know what an action button is, Spyro doesn't know what that is. That's like a very old school video game thing. I don't know if anyone's like noticed that. It's not really a thing anymore. Remember back in like the old days where like characters would say press the so-and-so button? And then usually they'd say action button because that way they don't have to record multiple lines for different consoles. Fun fact, that's probably why they say action button or jump button instead of what the actual button is. But they don't really do that in games anymore. Modern games just don't really do that. Unless it's a remake of an old game, obviously, like in this case. But, Yeah, they don't do that. They just kind of usually have like they might have a tutorial to be like, hey, press buttons or whatever, or you know, do this and that. But usually it's just like pop-ups or tutorial boxes that tell you the buttons to use, or maybe like on-screen button prompts, which work well enough. Usually I don't get confused about what buttons to press when I play games, but I'm thinking about it from the perspective of someone who maybe isn't as in tune with video game language. Obviously you got to play with them in mind. You got to make games with them in mind, rather. So yeah, it's interesting how things evolve, how things change, you know. Rescue Darius. He's a big one. He's got a scarf.
Like this Nork with the club cannot be charged, but a quick flame, that should defeat them.
Cool, I've already been doing that, but that's cool you tell me that now. I'm missing some gems. Oh wait, they're over here. Okay, that's everything. Let's go. I think I can actually leave the level from the pause menu, but it's fun to just go using the portal. Oh yeah, another thing. We've been recently having some internet problems at our house. So like, oh, I forgot we could roll. I forgot that was a thing in this game. I don't think it's ever once useful, but sure, whatever. What was I saying? Yeah, we've been recently having some internet problems, so if my stream disconnects, then it wouldn't shock me too much. Like, I wouldn't be too surprised. But yeah, we've been having some mild internet problems lately. We recently got a new internet provider, and I think it's kind of garbage, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so if my stream does randomly disconnect at a certain point, that might be why. I haven't been experiencing too many issues with the internet so far, so maybe I'm fine, but we'll have to wait and see. But, you know, that is why. In addition, a few days ago, I decided that I wanted to, well, maybe it wasn't a few days ago, it was like a week ago. I decided that I wanted to clean my PS5. I use my PS5 all the time, and I've had it for about like 4 years, give or take. 4 or 5 years maybe. And I read somewhere that they kind of encourage you to clean it dust it and clean it every like 2 or 3 years. So I was like, oh damn, I've had this thing for a while and I've never done that. So I decided to open it up and clean it. And that made me very nervous because I hate like tampering with tech stuff in that way, because it's like, what if I break it? Thankfully, it wasn't so bad because the PS5 was somewhat designed to be opened up. You can open it up like properly and get into the real nitty gritty of it, but the PS5 has like these face plates on it that were designed to be very easily opened, so that you could I messed up. So that you could change the faceplates, because they're white by default, but you can buy like different colored ones. So the faceplates were designed to be pretty easy to remove, relatively easy to remove, so that you could swap them out, or at least easy in the sense that you could do it without needing tools. So yeah. But yeah, it was still nerve-wracking because I was still worried about breaking it. And even though, yeah, you don't need tools to open up the PS5's faceplates, it was still hard. Like, I looked up like a dozen different tutorials on how to do it, and they all kept on saying like different things, like on how to like pop them off. You gotta like apply pressure and slide them off, but I couldn't get it. It would seem really difficult. I didn't want to tug on it too much because I don't want to break it. I ended up doing, there is like a bit of a technique, and a lot of the tutorial videos were pretty accurate, but like I think I needed more of a demonstration, and whenever the tutorial like showed them opening it up, They were like, you just pull it and then slide it, and then they just say that. And then it's like, cool, can you like slow it down or maybe like zoom in a bit more, because you're just doing it really quickly. And they're like, you just slide it and pull it, like so, as simple as that. And it's like, yeah, anything that's simple when you make it, when you do it like that. I need more instruction, you know? It turns out there's like some notches, like some like little notches where the PlayStation button logo is. And you gotta like pull it up. You gotta pull up on the faceplate just enough so that they dislodge from their place. Kind of like Lego. And then you'll be able to slide it off. But the tutorials, like, they kind of say that, but they don't make it clear enough, if you ask me. Yeah, it was annoying. It was a little bit frustrating. I spent like an hour trying to do it because I didn't want to tug on them too hard because I didn't want to break it. So I was like, I was taking a very slow and steady wins the race approach. Eventually I managed to do it. And then yeah, so removing the faceplates on your PS5 gets you access to like the fan, but you know, you can still take it further and like really get into the nitty gritty and like unscrew it and really get all up in there. But I didn't want to go that far because I like, it's not like my PS5 was having problems or anything. It was just I just thought I ought to clean it out a little bit. So I was like, if I was having actual problems with it, then I'd probably go a bit further, but I didn't want to risk breaking it for nothing. So I just decided to take off the faceplates and clean what I could from there. And so like, and looking up some of the tutorials I saw of how to clean out your PS5 and stuff like that, I noticed that when people took off their faceplates after like a couple years of it being used, the oh, these dogs are such arse-is. Anyway, I noticed that a lot of these tutorials, they would like open up the PS5 with the faceplates and then it'd be like disgustingly dusty inside. And I was expecting mine to look worse because mine had been like 4 or 5 years since since I got it. I'd never cleaned it before. And then I opened it, and to my surprise, it was like incredibly mild. Like there was like a little bit of dust built up on the fan, but like very minor. Nothing that would ever like cause a problem. It was very, very minor. Like I was really surprised. I think the reason as to why there wasn't much dust in it was because I tend to like blow into it from the outside pretty much every time I use it. Like every time I use my PS5 before turning it on, I'll like you can kind of like, there's like a vent around it where the air comes out, and I usually blow into that every time I use it. Not because I think I have to, but because I'm a bit of a I don't know. I'm just it's just like a routine that I do. I just always do that, so I just do it. Also, it gives me like this peace of mind where it's like I've blown into it, so that like dusts it slightly, maybe. Even though realistically it's probably not doing much, it's like a placebo effect. It makes me think that I'm making an impact. But maybe I actually was, because when I opened it up it wasn't that dusty at all. But ever since I opened it, because I had never opened it up before like that, or like taken off the faceplates, again, even though you're kind of supposed to, ever since I put it back together and put the faceplates back together, I didn't really take apart anything else, it was just the faceplates. I've been like nervous about using my PS5 because it's like, what if I put them in wrong? Or what if I accidentally messed something up when I was opening it? Or what if I was too rough with it? Like, what if it's like broken now? And I've been using it for the past few days and nothing's happened. It seems to be the same as ever, so I think that's probably a non-issue. That's just all in my head. I'm so sensitive to like tech problems, especially now. So I get stressed out about that sort of stuff, especially if it's something that I use a lot. And again, I use my PS5 all the time. But yeah, I'll get over it eventually. It'll become normal, just using it again. But I've been using it to replay Persona 3 Reload, because I've been really excited for the new Persona 4 remake. And I've never actually played through Persona 4, like the original. I played a little bit of Persona 4 Golden, actually. I did play through like the first couple dungeons, but then I stopped, so I'd never like played that far into the game before, so I'm looking forward to the remake. A part of the reason why I stopped is because I anticipated a remake might happen, so glad I did that. Nevin. Rescued Nevin. Where's his brother Kevin?
Nork has put one of his most devious henchmen in charge of the artisan world.
Bring him on. I think I smell a barbecue.
He's so
Be
cute.
careful, Spyro.
I like how his horns
Toasty
go
has
back. I
many
don't know if that's just because of the
tricks
way his head is moving, or if it's kind of like a cat-like quality. You know how cats do airplane ears? I think that's Spyro. That's like, his horns seem to go back a bit when he's like fired up and or agitated, like he's got airplane ears. He's so cute. Again, they animate Spyro very deliberately to be very cat-like in this game. You can tell by some of his idle animations. If we like wait around for a sec, a lot of his idle animations are very cat-like. A lot of his mannerisms and the way he moves is very cat-like as well. The way he trots around. See, look. So cute. I wonder if Spyro was always intended to be very cat-like in his, with the way he presents himself. This is the first game where I've ever really noticed it, or these remakes. Because I played a bunch of other Spyro games. Like, these games are a remake of the PlayStation 1 trilogy. I've never actually played the entire PS1 trilogy, aside from this remake, like the original PlayStation 1 versions. I did play Spyro 1. I played it on the PS3 because it was on like the not the eShop, the PlayStation store. So I played the original PS1 version of the first game on the PS3, and I enjoyed it. And I think I started the second game, but I didn't get very far because I kind of preferred the first one for some reason. I can't quite put my finger on why that was, but I just kind of ended up liking the first one more. I think I liked how simple it was. But, yeah, and then the first time playing Spyro 2 and 3 proper was with this remake trilogy. And then I played some of the other Spyro games as well. I played Enter the Dragonfly from the PS2, which is, for all intents and purposes, Spyro 4. But it's probably like the most... It's probably like the least popular Spyro game due to the fact that it's essentially the Spyro equivalent of Sonic 06. It was a game that was incredibly rushed. The story doesn't make sense. And I mean, Spyro's stories isn't really that important anyway, but it was very rushed and it's very buggy, very unfinished. There's a lot of cut content. And it's just not that fun to play. Also, the music doesn't even loop properly. Like, the one saving grace about Sonic 06 is that it's got really good music, but... And the music in Enter the Dragonfly is, like, pretty good. It was composed by the same guy who composed the PS1 games, so they got the talent, but it's... I mean, it's buggy and it doesn't loop properly.
See, you've been busy rescuing dragons.
Hello, Marco the
Spyro.
Balloonist. What is he?
You may travel to the Peacekeeper's world if you like. Are you ready to go?
What is the Balloonist? What animal is he?
Hop on, Spyro.
Is he like a beaver? Or something? I don't know. Yes. Also, I also played a lot of Spyro A Hero's Tale. I think that game was my introduction to Spyro. Because I've been a fan of it for as long as I can remember. Some of my earliest memories in life is of Spyro A Hero's Tale. So I think that must have been my introduction to Spyro. So I naturally have quite a fond nostalgic bias for that game. Okay, we're in the Peacekeeper's world. Did the motion blur turn itself on again? I thought I turned off the motion blur. What's that about? No, maybe the game just always has like a little bit of motion blur? Whatever. Maybe I'm just seeing things. Rescued Titan. Oh, he's got an axe.
Peacekeeper
Look how our treasure has been stolen and turned against us. Please, recover our treasure, Spyro.
Collect treasure. Got it.
Gonna turn up the volume on my end. I'd like to be able to hear the music. I swear the motion blur is back on. It looks like it, doesn't it? Like when I move the camera around? Oh, whoops, I'm being shot at. I turned off the motion blur in the options menu. Maybe, like, once I entered this world, it seemed to, like, there doesn't seem to be any difference between having it on and off now. Maybe it's, like, just this level where it just doesn't work. Weird. This trilogy can be a little bit on the buggy side at times. Not too much, but... also, sorry if I'm a little bit sniffy today. Hay fever and stuff like that. It's that time of year. I mean, between hay fever and the heat, it's really no wonder I don't like summer. But, yeah, so Spyro Hero's Tale, I think, is an underrated game. It seems like such a mixed bag, and I can't really say... I don't really understand why that is. It's very different from... Well, not very, but it is, like, pretty different from the PS1 games. Because it kind of has more of a linear progression, I guess. But it's good. It's got a great soundtrack. I don't know if that's my bias, my nostalgic bias for it, but A Hero's Tale, Spyro A Hero's Tale has really good music. Yeah, I'd love like a port or something of that game, but because it's a PS2 game, well, not because it's a PS2 game, but because it's a game that isn't very super highly regarded, it's very unlikely that that'll happen. But I don't get why. I think Hero's Tale is really good. It's probably my favorite Spyro game.
Make sure to keep him strong by feeding him lots of butterflies.
Man, they really had fun animating that guy. I feel like they had a lot of fun animating most of the dragons in this game. Again, they gave them all unique designs and stuff. It's so cool. Also, what the heck is this? There's like an invisible... There's like, oh. There's like an invisible rock here that they didn't... Weird. Okay. Can I charge it? Yeah, alright. I guess they messed up the collision a little bit there. What's this purple goop? What's this icky paint-like goop? It's purple. It's Spyro juice. That's terrible. Spyro's wings are tiny in this game. I guess that's like... He can't fly, so at least not on his own. So, you know, he glides around most of the time. Now, something interesting I learned about the new Spyro game. So the new Spyro game that got announced recently, A Realm Beyond or whatever it was. It's gonna have more of a focus on flying. They actually, I think they aged Spyro up a little bit so that they could justify making his wings bigger so that he can fly whenever he wants. So apparently free flight is gonna be a mechanic in the new one, which is interesting because a lot of the platforming of these games is built around Spyro's ability to not fly but glide around. The idea is gaining elevation so that you can glide to far off areas from higher up areas. That's like the whole like thing with Spyro that makes him different from other platformers, is that he has wings. He can glide. So the idea of making this new Spyro game all about flying, like, is it even going to be a platformer in that case? I mean, Spyro's dabbled with other genres before, like the Legend trilogy, which is about... It has a lot of platforming in it, but it's mainly a beat-em-up. It's like Spyro meets Lord of the Rings meets... I don't know, some generic beat-up, I don't know. Beat-em-up game. Whoops, that was my bad. I died in the goop. But yeah, the idea of being able to fly around all the time, it's like, so what's the game's structure? What's the level design like? How does the game work if you can fly whenever? You know, is it going to be more of like an open world kind of situation where it's about, you know, flying around and exploring, not so much trying to platform, but just finding things, exploring, being fully open to do and go wherever you want? Essentially, are they going to make Spyro open world? Which is interesting. I guess it doesn't not fit Spyro. You know, the freedom of flight and everything. It kind of makes sense. And heck, this isn't even the first time that Spyro's had free flight. Again, to go back to the Legend trilogy, the third game in that trilogy also aged Spyro up a bit. So he's like a young adult of sorts, or like late teens maybe. And free flight is a mechanic in that game. But they get around it in that game because, again, platforming isn't that game's main focus. It's a beat-em-up. But also there's a lot of limitations to flying in the sense that you can't, like, ascend as much as you want most of the time. There's kind of like an altitude limit. The game has also got a fixed camera, so it's kind of linear in its design. Also, there's a lot of things that prevent you from being able to fly, like gusts of wind that pull you down, or like other things to like prevent you from flying around places. So they get around it. There's a lot of platforming challenges that resolve around climbing instead of flying.
Well done,
So maybe they'll do
Spyro.
something like that.
Keep up the good work, and I know you'll fulfill your destiny.
Destiny? I just want to kick some.
Just toast those enemies and collect the treasure.
He was probably going to say patootie. Probably. Spyro is a pure bean. Anyway, I think we found most stuff. We're just missing some gems. Oh right, it's because it's in the chest. I need the key, and I've got the key. Cool, I think that's everything. Yep, the game tells you when it's 100%ed. Okay, so this is again the hub world of this this world. So now we actually start going into the levels, starting with Dry Canyon. Yeah, my hay fever's acting up this time of year, so sorry if I'm a little bit sniffy. I did take a tablet earlier, but those help only. Those only help so much, you know. I'm not feeling the heat so much right now. It's fine. Also, it's later in the day, so it's probably cooled down a little bit by now. Spyro has to land with style. Oh look, yeah, the motion blur is off again. Hold on, let me compare it. Yes, that's it. That's the camera moving with motion blur, and this is it moving without. Yeah, so the motion blur toggle just didn't work for that one level. I hope that's the only level where that's the case. That's kind of weird. The motion blur toggle wasn't in the game to begin with. It was added through a patch, so maybe it was done a little bit hastily. Because I remember the motion blur in this game being a big complaint when it first came out. I didn't really mind it though, because it made the game appear smoother a lot of the time. I'm a bit more sensitive to it now, which is why I have it off, but I don't think it's a bad thing. This game could really use from an upgrade though, like a modern platform upgrade. It is on PC, so depending on your PC. But still, make this game more accessible. Also, my schnoz is very itchy right now for some reason. This always happens when it gets warm and stuffy. My nose starts to have like an itch to it. And it's really annoying. I don't know why that happened. Must be some science to it, because it's only when it gets like warm and stuffy and humid when it feels like that. It's kind of distracting. Yeah, the music in this game is super good. None of the music in this game is too, or like in this trilogy, is too terribly catchy. Some tracks are. There are some standout tracks, but I couldn't really remember every level's music if I...
Thank you for releasing me,
Then again, I haven't
Spyro.
played these games that much. So, I can remember all the music for Spyro A Hero's Tale, because that game soundtrack is the best. And also I played that game a hell of a lot more, so... But yeah, this is how the game works. You just go from level to level, you collect things, you defeat enemies. Enemies also have gems on them, so you gotta defeat all the enemies. And you gotta save the dragons, then they're like, thank you for releasing me, and then you go along your merry way. And rinse repeat. But the challenge is about finding all the stuff, assuming you're going for 100%. And also you gotta... Again, the game is built around the gliding mechanics, where in order to get to far off ledges, you gotta glide to them, but you gotta make sure that you're gliding from high up, so that you can make the jumps and stuff. So you gotta consider your elevation. It's cool. Again, it's what made Spyro stand out back in the day. Because, you know, you had like Mario, Crash Bandicoot. I'm pretty sure Crash Bandicoot came first. And, you know, those guys are pretty typical with their movesets. They run, they jump. Mario has all sorts of, like Mario 64, they had a lot of different acrobatic moves. And, you know, some power-ups here and there. But Spyro, in addition to jumping and running, he can fly. He can glide, which those guys can't do, at least not on their own. Not permanently, whenever they want. So that's what makes Spyro special. At least for the time.
Is that you, Spyro? Are you the young dragon I've been hearing so much about? Ever since you were a wee puff of smoke, we've known,
You've known...
I forget.
I wonder what that's about. Weird. Anyway, oh god. So yeah, so Spyro's ability to glide was what made him stand out back in the day. Obviously, platformers that have gliding in it is not that, you know, uncommon anymore. It's fairly common, really. But it was for the time. I guess that's why they feel the need to shake things up for Spyro 4. And, you know, embrace the ability to fly, because the gliding stuff just isn't all that interesting as it used to be. So I guess it makes sense, you gotta modernize the game. We could just have another Spyro game that's more of the same, but I think it might be a good opportunity to try something new. And it might be really fun. We'll just have to wait and see now, won't we? Let's see, so there's some stuff over here. Whoops, my bad. Also, Mackerel, you're redeemed to hydrate. Hello, hope you're doing alright. I have now hydrated. This water is actually incredibly refreshing. Because of how stuffy it is in this room, my hands are starting to get really clammy. Yes. I was about to say something about Spyro. But yeah, so the original Spyro trilogy, obviously this remake wasn't made by the same company that made the original PS1 versions. The PS1 versions were made by Insomniac, which today are best known for making the Marvel Spider-Man games, as well as the Ratchet & Clank series, which is one of my favorite series of all time. Like, Kingdom Hearts is my #1 favorite gaming series. Ratchet & Clank is either my third favorite or second favorite, depending on how I feel. It's like kind of neck and neck with Sonic. Like, Kingdom Hearts is my #1, and then Ratchet & Clank and Sonic are kind of tied at 2. It depends how I feel that day. Sonic is probably my #2, but that's just because Sonic tends to be more active. Like, there's always something new going on with Sonic, but Ratchet & Clank has these days has these massive hiatuses. So it's harder to be hyped for Ratchet & Clank when they don't have new games very often. I hope there's a new game soon. Actually, all I want now is just ports of the older games, really. They're all stuck on PS2 and PS3. Yeah, so Spyro was made by Insomniac. It was like, I think it was their first game, actually. The original Spyro the Dragon was the company's first game. Actually, no, it wasn't their first game. No, it wasn't. I think their first game was actually a first-person shooter, kind of like Doom.
You are a good glider, eh, Spyro?
I was born to glide.
Oh, he's got that winning smile. After they made Spyro 3, they decided to stop making Spyro games completely by their own choice for the most part, I think. Also because they wanted to move on to new things, and I don't know. It feels like maybe they just didn't know what to do. Apparently, part of the reason as to why they stopped making Spyro games was because they didn't really know what more to do with them. Because I think they said something along the lines of like, we don't really know what we can further do to Spyro's gameplay to add onto it and improve it, especially since Spyro is a character that doesn't have hands and therefore cannot pick stuff up or interact with stuff as easily as some other video game characters. This is what set them to making Ratchet and Clank, because Ratchet is a character who does have hands and ergo can pick stuff up. Also, it looks like I'm being disconnected from my chat. Hold on. Let me test that. No, I'm okay. It was saying disconnected from the chat for a sec there. I'm still live, right? I seem to be. Yeah, what was I saying? But yeah, so when they made Ratchet and Clank, they very deliberately designed a character who actually does have hands, and therefore can hold and grab things, which they wouldn't really be able to do with Spyro, because he's, a quadruped. They ended up, and Ratchet and Clank is a game that's all about weapons, using different weapons. So that makes use out of Ratchet's ability to hold things. Ratchet and Clank is such a fun series. I would be a lot more willing to recommend it, though, if it were more easily accessible, because again, all the games are stuck on PS2 and PS3, except for the most recent one. Well, there is the movie tie-in game, but it's not the best one. It's not really one that I would recommend to new people. It's not bad, but it's not the best one to start with, I think. I'm going the wrong way. But then there's also Rift Apart on PS5, which is a really good Ratchet and Clank game. I can recommend that one if you want to see what the series is about. It's relatively standalone, but there is a lot of lore that you'll probably be missing out on if you start with Rift Apart, but it's not a bad game to start with. You'll be able to follow along well enough. But yeah, I wish I could recommend the older games more, because if it wasn't for the fact that they're stuck on outdated hardware, and they don't have PC versions or anything.
I thought I'd be stuck here forever with those ugly
Every time a PlayStation event,
but they're pretty tasty. Flame broiled with a pinch of salt.
oh man, yeah. Every time a new PlayStation event happens, like a state of play, whatever, one of my biggest wants is Ratchet and Clank remasters or ports. Because the PS2 games have technically already been remastered for PS3 in HD. The problem is that, well, not only is the PS3 itself kind of outdated now, but in addition to that, the PS3 ports aren't very good. They do the bare essentials in the sense that they are in HD. They are in 60 frames per second, and they don't really dip much, or at least the trilogy doesn't. I don't think so. And, the games are all there, and they're intact. They have trophy support, which is also cool. The big problem with the PS3 versions is that, boy, are they buggy. Way more so than the original PS2 versions, which weren't really that buggy to begin with. But the PS3 versions are like, ugh. I still play the PS3 versions over the PS2 versions because it's like the positives outweigh the negatives for me. But the negatives are very evident. Most of the bugs are visual, though. It's mainly just visual glitches, like character models kind of freaking out sometimes. Probably the biggest, most frustrating visual bug in the PS3 remasters of Ratchet & Clank is the fact that in the second and third game, Ratchet always wears a helmet, and the helmet hovers above his head in every single cutscene. In gameplay, it's fine, but in every single cutscene, his helmet is hovering above his head, and it's really distracting and weird. Yeah, it's mainly visual bugs like that. Again, I still play the PS3 versions because they're still in HD. But yeah, I would love it if they could just essentially remaster the games again. Just give them another go. Give them another chance. Apparently something to do with the way that those games were originally made makes them difficult to port, which might be why they haven't done it. What's confusing to me, though, is that if you're a PS5 user, you may be aware that, yeah, the motion blur just automatically switched itself on in this world. Weird. Yeah, if you're a PS5 user, you're probably aware that on the PlayStation Store, they have these PlayStation Classics line, where it's essentially PlayStation games from older consoles that they bring onto the PlayStation 5 store for you to buy and play on your PS5. And it's mostly just emulation, so it's not like remasters or anything like that, it's just emulated. What's funny though is that none of the Ratchet and Clank, well, that's not technically true, but like none of the PS2 Ratchet and Clank games have been put onto the PlayStation Classics lineup for some reason. The only Ratchet and Clank games that have been added to that system is the PSP Ratchet and Clank games, which were made by a different company, and I assume are easier to port. Also, they're not like that well received, so it seems like they just kind of throw those up there. It's nice to have them there as an option though, if I ever do want to play them, and I probably will. Yeah, the original PS2 Ratchet and Clank games, you know, the critically acclaimed ones that everyone likes, are for some reason not on the PlayStation Classics catalog, which is weird because Jack and Daxter and Sly Cooper are on there, and they're very similar to Ratchet and Clank in the sense that they're like the PlayStation 2 era mascot platformers, and they're very close to Ratchet and Clank, and they tend to reference each other. Heck, they crossed over a few times. So why Sly and Jack and Daxter get to be on the PlayStation Classics and not Ratchet and Clank is weird. That kind of led me to believe that they were planning on remastering the games again properly. But I don't know, it would make sense because Ratchet and Clank, between those three series, the holy trinity of PS2 games, Ratchet and Clank is the only one of those three that's still active to this day. Ratchet and Clank never really died, it's still going, so... Also, hi there, Natsu! Oh, is this the remake from that game where all the dragons freeze? Yeah, it is. This is the original Spyro the Dragon. The original was a PS1 game, and this is the PS4 remakes. Well, they're not just on PS4, they're on Xbox as well, and I think these games are also on Switch. But I don't know how well the Switch version performs. They should port these games to Switch 2 because a new Spyro game got announced for Switch 2, in addition to other platforms. I'm excited for the next Spyro game. My mum is very excited, funnily enough. She's usually not into games, but Spyro is kind of a special case. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't think they have a release date for the new Spyro game. I think they said spring 2027. So, you know.
How's a dragon supposed to flame metal armor anyway?
Remember, Spyro,
Flame won't work on metal, but charging with your horns, that should do the trick.
Man, the dragons look so cool. They give them such cool designs. Again, on the original PlayStation 1 version, they all basically looked the same, and they were all like very, you know, they're on PlayStation 1, so they were all very polygonal. But, you know, I think low poly character models are really charming, actually, but still. Man, there are a lot of games to look forward to. I ate pretty good during this not E3 season, I think. But yeah, I hope you're doing alright though, Natsu. Like, so much happened. Like, we got a Spyro game announcement. They announced a Final Fantasy game during the, what was it? Was it the Direct? Final Fantasy, like, Revisions or something? I don't remember what it was called. It's the game that's like a remake of the mobile game Brave Exvius, which I played a little bit. But I didn't play too much because it's a mobile game and I got bored. So the idea of it being like remade for consoles is like really cool to me. Because I like the pixel art and the music I liked as well. And also it brings together a lot of different Final Fantasy characters. Like a fun fact, the game that this new Final Fantasy like remake is based off of, again, the mobile game Brave Exvius. It had a bunch of crossovers with not only other Final Fantasy games, but with other Square Enix games as well, like Nier Automata, Dragon Quest, and even my beloved Kingdom Hearts it even did crossovers with. Which is cool, because Kingdom Hearts doesn't do crossovers a lot. Mainly because of the whole Disney thing, I assume. But no, they got like various Kingdom Hearts characters in the mobile game, Brave Exvius, which is cool. And a fun fact about that is that I liked the pixel art so much that the alerts that I have on my streams for followers and subs and bits and stuff, the pixel art that I use for Kingdom Hearts characters for those are from Brave Exvius. That's where they come from. Because getting like high quality sprite art of Kingdom Hearts characters isn't super easy. Because there's only one sprite-based Kingdom Hearts game, and the sprite art in that is good, but the characters are limited. So it would actually be cool if they cross over with Kingdom Hearts in this remade version. That'd be cool. I would love that. Because then I'd just have like Sora on my party like all the time. I'd never take him off. Oh, there's gems in these cauldrons.
Hey, what's on the other side of that river?
Why don't you glide there and find out?
Okily dokily. We can only just barely make it. That's where the challenge comes from. You gotta get to high vantage points. I still don't know what all the purple water is. This is like not the only level that's had this. Is it even water? It's probably Ribena or something. Wait, isn't Ribena red? The packaging is always purple. I don't know if it's actually. Maybe it's darkness. In Kingdom Hearts 1, the water turns purple during like the final boss. Maybe it's the same purple darkness water. I've been in a real Kingdom Hearts mood recently, ever since Kingdom Hearts 4 got its trailer recently. And that again, that's another one, like Kingdom Hearts got a new trailer recently, like that's a big deal. I actually recorded a discussion video about the recent Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer that we got. I recorded it with Sleepy Grim. We essentially hopped on a call and we chatted about it for a bit. I had some notes on stuff I wanted to talk about. It's also kind of like a trailer analysis as well. I'm in the middle of editing it. Well, not currently, obviously, but I'm doing that. It's gonna be a while though, because we were talking for quite a while. So there's a lot to edit, and I'm trying to edit out. I'm trying to edit it in a way that it's more like viewer friendly, in the sense that if I were to just upload the raw discussion without editing it, like, we do a lot of like awkward pauses and gaps in silence. And not throwing any shade, but Grim especially, when Grim is talking, they like pause a lot to like think in the middle of their sentences. I think I do that too. I think everyone does that sometimes, but I've never met someone who does it more than Grim. So I'm editing around it and like trying to edit out those long gaps of silence. And there's a lot. We were talking for like 2 hours, so I have to edit all that down. Not to mention I have to put in like footage and stuff as well. So for a simple discussion video, it might take me a bit to edit. As long as I get it finished before the next Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer happens, then I think I'll be fine, but that could be the ages from now. Who knows when that'll be. Yeah. Also, it looks like it said I got disconnected from my chat again. Is that still working? Is my chat still functioning? Yeah, I can put emotes in it. Alright. On OBS, it keeps saying disconnected from the chat. Like, are you for reals? Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 4, that's crazy exciting. Yeah, I've been in a real Kingdom Hearts mood today. I mean, not today, just lately, ever since the trailer. But I don't really want to play any of the Kingdom Hearts games, really, though, because I think I mentioned this in the previous stream, actually, so sorry for repeating myself. But it's on my mind. But they recently announced, alongside the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, they announced a new collection, and I think I want to get that collection. Even though I already have all the games, I'd like to be able to have this new collection because they're the most recent versions. They might perform better and stuff. Also, I like the idea of having a like a fresh new trophy list, and also just the clean slate feeling of having them. Also, I just like to have it. I want to have the physical version. And yeah, I like the idea of just having the most recent and up-to-date versions. Because I think they're based on the PC ports, which have a few extra bells and whistles and stuff. So I would like that. I don't have the key for this crap. Where's the key? Oh wait, maybe it's not a key. I think it's actually that firework I'm supposed to use. And then it blows it up. Yeah, so I think I don't really want to play any of the Kingdom Hearts games until I can get this new collection. It comes out October. So I got a few months to wait. Same month as a lot of games, actually. I'm looking forward to the Rayman Legends remake. Yeah, I gotta wait a bit. So yeah, my hunger for Kingdom Hearts will have to wait until the new collection. I mean, again, I don't have to wait, but I want to. I did recently replay Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, though, which is the only game that's not included in the collection, aside from the mobile games, obviously. So I played that, and it was fun. It's a rhythm game. Can I make this? Oh yeah, for some reason I didn't think I could make the glide from here. Nice. I recently replayed Melody of Memory, which was fun. So it's just a rhythm game, though. So that was fun, but yeah, I feel like playing some Kingdom Hearts, but I'd prefer to wait for the new collection so that it feels more fresh. But to kind of like satisfy my hunger for some Kingdom Hearts, I've noticed that a lot of creators on YouTube are playing the games for the first time because of all the hype surrounding the KH4 trailer. So a lot of people are naturally like curious to see what all the hubbub's about. And one of my current favorite creators on YouTube right now oh, I got a skill point apparently. One of my current favorite YouTube creators right now started playing the series for the first time, and so I've been watching his live streams playing through the games because it's always really interesting. Like I do like watching live streams of people playing games I played before because I like seeing what other people think. But that's especially the case for Kingdom Hearts because it's such an interesting and unique series, and it's always curious to see how people find them. Do they not really gel with the themes and you know, the plot and stuff like that? Because I know it's not for everybody. But then there are some people who fully embrace the magic of Kingdom Hearts and fully lean into it. You got to really give it a chance, you know. It's if you're too. One thing that this creator that I'm watching said is that this is like the ultimate game for anti-pessimism or something like that. Like if you're too much of a pessimist or a Debbie Downer, then Kingdom Hearts is not for you. Yeah, it's a very uplifting kind of series. Ow, who did that? Who hit me? Did someone throw something at me? Whatever. Was the game punishing me for staring at a wall? So this guy that I've been watching, I don't know if I want to say who it is, maybe if someone asks, but I don't want to say, I don't know, just in case, like, I don't know how I feel about, like, shouting out of the... Well, I guess it's only really a good thing, though, right? I don't know. Maybe not everyone would be comfortable with that kind of stuff. Then again, he's got a pretty big channel, so it's just a drop in the sand, really. A grain in the sand, whatever that saying is. You get what I mean. I like how you can see the gems from far away. I think the original game did that too, but still. Yeah, watching this guy playing Kingdom Hearts is really cool, because he never played Kingdom Hearts much. Like, he never really played Kingdom Hearts because he didn't think he'd like it. He only knew about the series what people had told him. And what had been like, what's like the general consensus online. And the general consensus online sometimes paints Kingdom Hearts in a fairly negative light. Like that it's like, if you've like heard about Kingdom Hearts, you've never played the games and you've heard about the games, something you probably heard about is the fact that it's, you know, really confusing. It's like really like it leans into you know, the power of friendship trope, and it does. Like, don't get me wrong, it does do that a lot, but it's not nearly as like cheese-tastic as some people would let you believe it is. It does depend on your viewpoint on that sort of stuff. Kingdom Hearts never leans into it too hard for me. But also, like, the idea that it's like really confusing and it's like this giga-brain 4D chess kind of crap. It's not. I'll be the first to say it is not. If, like, it can be confusing, don't get me wrong, but it's like an anime, like, especially if it's, you know, ongoing enough. If you play the games out of order, then of course you're going to be confused. If you're skipping stuff and you're not looking into all if you're not like paying attention to the cutscenes and stuff, then yeah, it is confusing. But you gotta approach it with the right mindset. You gotta play the games in order, and it's as simple as that for the most part. Play the games in order. Maybe look into some of like the optional content, because sometimes there's lore information hidden behind optional stuff. But Kingdom Hearts is not as confusing as people would have you believe it is. It's that's just kind of like the cheap shot, like general consensus that the internet has come up with, because it probably is confusing to some people, and then it ends up becoming like this placebo effect or like self-fulfilling prophecy where people just believe it to be this really confusing thing, even though it's not really. Like, it can be, definitely it can be confusing, but it's all there, you know. The only reason it sometimes gets confusing is because the series has this big mystery element, and not everything is always told to you at once, and you gotta like hold off on things. it's not if you just play the games in release order, again, specifically play them in release order, or else you will be confused. But if you do that, all the information is there. It's not like some games where you gotta like read books and stage plays and whatever in order to get everything. Admittedly, Kingdom Hearts does have mobile games with canon plots in them that aren't even available to play anymore, but as of right now, the mobile game stuff isn't crucial. It probably will be at some point, but for now it's not absolutely necessary. And they'll probably find a way to make the mobile game plot more ingrained into everything else at some point, especially because the mobile games aren't even available anymore. So that's a bit of an oopsie if they don't address that. But yeah, what's really cool about this this creator who I've been watching, this streamer who I've been watching play the games, is that he was unsure if he liked Kingdom Hearts 1, but by the end of the first stream, he had straight up said, "I've fallen in love with this game." Like, he really liked it, and that's so cool to see, especially for someone who was very unsure about it, if they would like it. But the fact that they straight up said, like, "I love this game," like, wow, that's so cool. I love to see that. For all like the cheap shots that some people throw at Kingdom Hearts, it's great when people actually give the games a chance. They like and they actually end up liking it, which is cool. Again, it's not a series for everyone, so not everyone is supposed to like it. But it's cool when they do, because they really gave it a go. And not only that, but he's fully committed to playing all of them, which is also really cool. Because I feel like a lot of people could just play the first one and then call it a day, which would be fine. Kingdom Hearts 1 on its own is a good enough standalone game. It does end on a bit of a cliffhanger, but, you know, it's got a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you can stop there, and if that's all you want, then that's fine. But Kingdom Hearts 2 is like the bee's knees for most people. But yeah, he's fully committed to playing all the games. He tried playing the second game in the series is not actually Kingdom Hearts 2, it's Chain of Memories, which is like an in-between game, which is still very canon, and it follows up from the first game. So he did try playing that, but unfortunately Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories is probably the most mixed Kingdom Hearts game, or like a pretty contentious one, because it's the only Kingdom Hearts game with a radically different gameplay system. Because like it's still an action RPG like all the others, but it's a card game as well. And the card game mechanics doesn't sit with everybody, and I think that's fair. I think it can be a ton of fun if you take the time to learn it, but it's a bit of a learning curve, and not everyone's going to be into it, even if you do learn it. So unfortunately, this streamer tried playing Chain of Memories, didn't like it, but even though he didn't like the gameplay, he's still going to watch the cutscenes online instead so he can stay up to date. And it's cool, because I feel like that's cool, because I guess he really did end up liking it, because like he's taking the time to watch the cutscenes instead of playing it. Just so that he can be up to date with the story. Like, it shows that he actually does care about what's going on in the plot for the most part, which is always cool. Which is cool because like some people, I imagine, just want to play the games and just ignore the main plot. And I like that. It's cool. Yeah, it's always interesting when people get into the series for the first time. I hope I'm not coming off as too, like, what's the phrase? Gatekeepy about it? From my understanding, I've never really looked up the definition of what gatekeeping means, but from my understanding, based on context clues, it's essentially like, as far as like, to use games as an example, like when someone is like, you know, you're not like a true fan because you don't do this, and this, or like, you know, you got to do this or you got to do that, or like they're very, you know, if you don't play it like this, then you're not a pro gamer, you know, or like you're not a real fan if you don't play every single game and stuff like that. I hope I don't come off that way in any. I'm not trying to be. I feel like I'm not, but maybe without realizing it, I'm coming off of that way. But like, I very much would like for more people to try the games, and if you don't like them, then that's fine, because they're not supposed to... I mean, nothing is supposed to be liked by everybody. But if you're willing to give it a shot, then I'm a happy chappy. Give them a good old go. But yeah, there are a lot of fans of... There are a lot of Kingdom Hearts fans who are like that, though. Very much like, you don't play all the games on the hardest difficulty, then you're a fake fan. Unfortunately, some people are like that. When it comes to difficulty, like, I do like playing on the highest difficulties, and I do like playing all the games, but, like, I'm not a proper fan because I do that stuff. Like, what makes you a true fan exactly? It's kind of a dumb statement, really. Like, it's kind of a dumb phrase. Like, I don't know. If you like it, then you're a fan. Even if you haven't played all the games, you're a fan of the games that you have played. And if you don't like one of the games because of their gameplay or whatever, and you prefer to watch the cutscenes instead, so that you can stay up to date with the story, then that's great. It's great that you can still get something out of the game, even if you don't enjoy playing it. But some people don't see it that way. They're like, ugh, ew, you've only played some of the games? Like, yuck, get out of here. And I guess a lot of fan bases are like that. I don't think Kingdom Hearts leans into that too much. There are way more toxic fan bases for games out there. But yeah, some people are. Just, you know. I think something that this streamer I've been watching pointed out is that from his perspective, it seems like the Kingdom Hearts fans can be rather sensitive about this series, about you know, its quality and stuff like that, a little bit emotional about it. And I think I am too. I think I am a little bit sensitive when it comes to Kingdom Hearts. If people like start to critique it, I'm usually one of the first people to try and defend it. But like, I'm not going to say that like people are wrong or that their opinions are invalid. Like, no, I'm like, I'll you know, try and defend a series that I like, and maybe try and like see if I can understand people's perspectives and see if maybe I can help them understand mine. But I'm not going to be like, you're stupid if you don't like these games. Like, if you don't like them, that's fine. I think it's okay. It's not there again. It's but you know, some people will be a bit more rude about it, you know. I kind of forgot where I was going with all that. Yeah, I just hope I'm not coming off to gatekeepy. I'm pretty sure gatekeeping is like, oh, I love this insert thing so much, but I don't want it to be popular, so I'm not going to tell anyone what it is. I think that's what it is anyway. Yeah, I think gatekeeping comes in a few different types, and I think that is definitely at least one of the types. You're very right. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever really... I think I used to think that way... I think I used to do stuff like that, or think that way about stuff when I was little. But, like, that's a very key thing there. I was a child. Like, exactly my point is, gatekeeping in that way is childish. The proof is that I used to do that when I was a child, but I don't anymore. What does that tell you? Like, I grew up, and I'm a lot more respectful of people's tastes. And difference of opinions. I was never disrespectful about that sort of thing, but I've become more and more in tune with that sort of stuff as I've gotten older. But yeah, and I mean, when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, it never really applied to Kingdom Hearts all that much, because growing up, no one really knew what it was. Like, Kingdom Hearts is popular, but at least for me, it was always very niche, because none of my friends ever knew what it was until I told them. Like, it was incredibly rare that I would ask, like, hey, you know about Kingdom Hearts? And they'd actually say yes. Mostly it's no. These days, Kingdom Hearts is more popular than ever. So many people are aware of, at least aware of the series now. They've at least heard of it. I think Kingdom Hearts 3 is a big factor to that. Because that game put the series on the map for a lot of people. But yeah, no one I ever knew really knew about it. I never had any friends who knew what it was until I told them about it. And even after I told them about it, like none of my friends were really all that much into games to begin with. At least not like I am. And even like I did have a couple friends in school who were quote-unquote gamers, although I hate that term. I hate the term gamers. I've never liked it. It sounds silly. But I did have a couple friends who were into games, but it was more like, I don't know how else to say, trendy games. You know, like shooters, your Call of Duties. Fortnite wasn't a thing when I was in school, but Fortnite definitely would have been on that list. I've messed up. Yeah, I'm gonna run out of time. But yeah, Fortnite would definitely be on that. Like you know, more trendy games like Minecraft, Call of Duty, whatever. Like, you know, Game of the Week, Five Nights at Freddy's. God, it's all I could hear when I was in school. So, you know, any of my friends who were into games were into like games like that. They weren't into any of the same games as me. Like, you know, story-driven. Action games, RPGs, platformers, single player stuff, you know, games that have a campaign and an ending. Like, none of them were really into those kinds of games, so I could never really connect to them through games in that way. It was very hard for me to make friends. I still had friends, but we were all so different from each other. And partially, maybe that wasn't a bad thing, but I never really had anyone to, like, talk about my love of games with. I guess that's one of the best benefits to having a twin who is into the same stuff as me, because my twin could kind of satisfy that need for like talking about my interests, because Grim is into games. I was cutting it close. Okay. But yeah, like in terms of like gatekeeping and being like, oh, I don't like this thing and I don't want it to be popular because I want it to be niche. I want it to be my thing. I don't want people to experience it and ruin it. Blah 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 blah. Like and I guess that like that can sometimes happen with some games where they become so incredibly popular that they kind of lose that kind of magic that they once had. But that's only really a problem if it's like how the games change in response to the popularity. It depends on how the games are made. Like, on its own, a game becoming more popular, there's nothing wrong with that. Just more people are playing it and liking it and talking about it. And yeah, I guess some fan bases can become more toxic, depending on the kinds of people that enter them, and how big they ultimately get because of it. But, you know, on its own, talking about a game and recommending it, and wanting it to be popular is a good thing. But again, that was never really a thing with Kingdom Hearts when I was growing up, because no one knew what it was. Or at least it was so niche that I never really met anybody. Oh my god, that eclipse is so freaking cool. Check that out. Good lord, shouldn't we be wearing glasses? That is awesome. I wish this game had a photo mode. That's something that I've grown to appreciate a lot ever since I started making content, like whether it's streaming or on my YouTube stuff. I've started appreciating certain game features a lot more because of their usefulness from a content creation perspective. Like, photo mode, like, was always just like a, yeah, whatever. Like, it's there and it's kind of cool, but it's like not useful for anything. But because like I need to make thumbnails for videos and streams and stuff, like a photo mode is like really useful for that. Also, same story with volume sliders. I never really used to tamper with volume sliders in games very much because my usual thought process is, you know, the game was designed, you know, was audio balanced by the devs, so tampering with the volume would like deviate from what the devs intended the balancing with the audio is. These days, I sometimes tamper with it here and there. Like if I want to hear the music a bit clearer, I'll bump it up a notch or two. Or if the sound effects are a bit too loud and it's drowning out characters' voices, maybe I'll bump those down. But I've grown to appreciate volume sliders a lot more because of making videos, sometimes gathering footage, but removing one of the sounds is really useful. For example, like there are some instances where I want to like record a piece of gameplay, and what I usually do with my videos is that I edit music in the background. But if I want to show a gameplay clip, I'd prefer it if there was no music in the gameplay clip, because I'd like for the music in my video to be continuous without needing to stop it for the clip. So I could just essentially have the background music in the video continue into the clip. So in that sense, the ability to mute just the music is something that I've grown to really appreciate a lot more now.
Over and over. But I tell you one thing, he should watch his back.
That guy was cool. There's a gem up on a rock over there. I think I need to glide from somewhere else. Yeah, I was talking about gatekeeping, wasn't I? Yeah, I don't know. Kingdom Hearts fans can be a little bit obnoxious about that sort of thing sometimes, I suppose. Like some people are like, you're not a true fan if you don't play through all the games. That's stupid. Just play the games as you like. The idea is to have fun. Remember, people, games are supposed to be fun. So that's the point. That's what they're for. It's supposed to be enjoyed, experienced. You're not supposed to lord it over other people. That's not the point. Yeah. It is a bit obnoxious. Also, it's like if you don't know all the lore, then you're not a true fan either. To be honest, like I am what I've grown to refer to as a Kingdom Hearts big brainer, which is essentially a phrase that I'm starting to use to describe not only a Kingdom Hearts fan, but a Kingdom Hearts fan who is very deep into the lore and the plot and is actively like theorizing about it and stuff like that. I feel like most Kingdom Hearts fans fall into that category though, but some people are just fans that are more like casual about it and just play the games and don't really think too hard about learning everything, which is you know, valid, because not everyone's into that sort of stuff, the theory crafting and whatnot. But I would describe myself as a Kingdom Hearts big brainer, but even then I don't know everything, or at least certain details of the world building and lore. I sometimes forget stuff, and I can't like explain the entire timeline of the series off the top of my head. I mean, I can in regards to like the main games, but when you throw in like the mobile games into the equation is where like my knowledge starts to waver a bit. Like I know it, but not that well. Not off the top of my head. I need a refresher. Yeah, it is interesting. Sometimes misconceptions can happen with a series that's so story heavy and lore heavy. and there's so many details. Sometimes misconceptions can happen, which can result in arguments within the fan base, which is always funny and a bit annoying. One time I got into not an argument, but like a slight disagreement over Sora's age. Because I was like talking in a live stream in a live chat. This was years ago. And the conversation of Kingdom Hearts came up, and we were talking about the games, and we eventually got to the topic of Sora's age, which in the first game, it's canonically proven, like you can look it up, Sora is 14 in the first game, and if you're keeping track of the timeline, he's 15 in the second game and 16 in KH4. Or 17, it depends when his birthday is, I guess. But someone in this live chat was like, no, Sora's like 10 in the first game, and he's going to be 19 in Kingdom Hearts 3. This was before Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. And it was like, he's 19 in Kingdom Hearts 3. And I'm like, where the heck are your sources? Where on earth is it ever, like, implied that Sora is that old in Kingdom Hearts 3? What? So... I didn't argue with the guy. I was kind of like, I'm pretty sure he's 14 in the first game, and only a year passes between 1 and 2, and then stuff like that. And then he kept on going, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna talk anymore. I'm just gonna go. I think I've done everything in this world. So yeah, I left that conversation. Where's the balloonist? Bruh. He's over here. There he is.
I can't believe how fast you found so much.
Yeah, so we need to get a certain amount of treasure.
Hop aboard for the Magic Crafter's world if you're ready.
Oh, did I say stay here? I didn't mean to. Magic Crafters. The animation of Spyro jumping into the balloon is a little bit jank, I'm not gonna lie. Couldn't they have made like a dedicated animation for it? Especially because of how often you see it. The animation for Spyro jumping out of the balloon is even worse because there isn't an animation. He just kind of descends. Which implies to me that it's like a glitch or something where there's supposed to be an animation, it just doesn't work. Yeah, like, that looks so awkward. I gotta chase down this guy. Yeah, this is the Magic Crafter's world. Away. This place reminds me of Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, which is the remake of the PS1 Crash Team Racing. For the remake, though, they did a crossover with Spyro, where Spyro was a playable racer, in addition to a couple other characters. And Spyro got his own themed track, racetrack, which has you racing through a few different locations from this game, with this place being one of them, so you can race around in this level. Which is cool. It was cool that they did that. Crash and Spyro have always been very close to each other. Cosmos. Whoa, look at his horns.
I want you to release the dragons, reclaim our treasure, and recover the eggs from those pesky blue thieves.
Rightio. Yeah, Crash and Spyro have always been very close. They've crossed over a little bit here and there. There was actually a cancelled Crash Bandicoot game, like a fifth Crash Bandicoot game. Well, not a fifth game, but, you know, it'd be called Crash 5 or something, I don't know. But that game was cancelled, and it was supposed to be a Crash and Spyro crossover where you play as both of them. I think it was still a Crash game, so it's essentially just translating Spyro into Crash gameplay. But, even though that sounds awesome, and I wish they hadn't cancelled it. But then I guess Toys for Bob, the creators of this remake, as well as Crash 4, I guess they got fed up with, like, who are they working under? It was like Microsoft, like Activision, I don't remember exactly. But apparently Toys for Bob went independent. kinda, I guess. I think they're still like very Xbox dependent or something. But either way, they've got way more freedom because like I think they were thrown into the Call of Duty development trenches for a bit, which they had no real experience with prior, and also developing Call of Duty sounds like a punishment, frankly. Like no shade to Call of Duty, but I don't feel like those games are the most fun games to development from a game design standpoint. Yeah, supposedly Toys for Bob were not happy working under them. It just wasn't their bag. They weren't happy with it. So when they went like somewhat independent and they could kind of call their own shots, it seems like the first thing that they decided that they were going to do was we're going to make another Spyro game because we like doing the remakes. I imagine that creating a new Spyro game after the remakes was always their plan. It's just they weren't able to because of corporate whatevers. But now they can. And look at, I checked the website for the new Spyro game to like see if there's any more info. And I saw some like some interviews and stuff, and it was like them saying how we're much more happy and comfortable making Spyro, which is really nice to hear. It's nice that Spyro's making them happy to make. And I imagine since they seem to be so passionate about Spyro, that passion will be represented in the game. That a game that has a lot of passion behind it, you can tell. I know that may seem a little bit silly, but when a game has genuine heart put into it, you can feel it.
When you see arrows like these, you can charge along with them to begin a super.
Oh man, he's got the tarot cards.
Supercharge. Excellent.
He's got the Blue Eyes White Dragon or something. I keep trying to get into Yu-Gi-Oh, by the way. I have like every couple months or so I have like a Yu-Gi-Oh kick. And I feel the desire to like play the game, like whether it's the video games or the actual card game, or the anime. I always get into like a bit of a Yu-Gi-Oh kick, but I don't really know. Like I don't have anyone to play with. I don't really have any of the cards anymore, and none of the video games are very satisfying to me. What I really want is because I find the Yu-Gi-Oh card game really fun. At least I find it fun when it's simple, because because over the years they just like add a bunch of new rules and stuff, and it's like I prefer it during its infancy, when it was relatively simpler. I don't really know any of the newer rules, so I never really bothered to learn. Maybe I'd like it though if I learned the new rules. I don't know. What I really want is like a single player Yu-Gi-Oh game with like a campaign story mode where you play duels against other people, or maybe you can play multiplayer with other people too or whatever, but like a single player game where you duel against people and there's like a story and stuff like that. So it's more like how the anime is. Like I want that. Like I want that. The only other Yu-Gi-Oh like video games are either really old or they're like multiplayer focused, where they're mainly just supposed to be simulators to like play the game against your friends online or whatever. Like there isn't really like a campaign really. There is one Yu-Gi-Oh game that I got on my Switch. I forget what it was called, like Legacy of the Duelist, I think. I think that was called. That's what it was. Maybe I might be confusing it with a different one. Like that game's pretty good because like you play the card game, but it doesn't have a story mode exactly. What it has is that you can play duels that essentially recreate episodes from the anime against computers. Which is, that works well enough. I would prefer like an original story mode, but it'll do. My only problem with that is that it moves so freaking fast. My problem is that like you're going up against computers, right? So you have your turn and then it's the computer's turn. And then like the computer just like does everything immediately.
Anger and hate
Whoa.
are supreme.
Hello, Pickle, Elshad's
Hi, Elshad. That made me jump a little bit there. I was just talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Thank you for the resub though, with your Prime for the 41 months. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing alright. Where was I? But yeah, my problem with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Game that I have on Switch is that I'll do my turn, and when the computer does their turn, they do like everything so quickly because they're a computer. So obviously they're like just calculating their turn ahead of time, and then they just do it. But they're doing all of this stuff in their turn, and it's like, I can't keep track of what you're doing. Like, a bunch of stuff just happens, and then it goes to my turn, and I'm like, okay, well, the field is radically different now, and I have no idea why, because everything happens so incredibly fast that the computer didn't give me a chance to actually read what their cards are doing. And then just stuff just happens. There is like a way to pause, but that's really cumbersome. Like, I don't want to have to like pause the game so I can read the freaking cards. What the game needs is some kind of... Because like it auto-advances. The game needs an option that allows you to press the A button to like move along when you finish reading the cards that they're using. For some baffling reason, the game doesn't have that, even though it sounds really obvious. So if they ever made a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Video game, I need that, please. I'm sure it's good for players who like know what all the cards do and they know all the rules, because there are players like that, more like experts. But I don't know what all the cards do, and I sometimes need a refresher on the rules. You got to make your game accessible. Sorry, rant over. Where's the... Oh, right, it's the chest. How's Spyro going? It goes well. It's very simple fun. I haven't been commentating much on the game. I've just been talking about whatever random thing comes into my head. It's fun. This game is very chill and doesn't really require a ton of sensory input. Not in a bad way. Like in a, this game is pretty simple and chill. That's kind of why I'm playing it. Especially with the heat wave, I don't want to play something that uses up so much brain activity. Especially because my brain is mush. Which is very sucky, because I'm not going to be able to stream much while the heat wave is going on, and then at some point I'll have to vacate my room due to construction. Which will make it even harder for me to stream, so this is really inconvenient. What's frustrating about that is that Deltarune comes out in like a couple days. Which sucks, because I wanted to stream it, but with this heatwave going on, I'm going to have to wait a while. So I'm not really too concerned, because I don't mind waiting for when, you know, the weather's better and I can actually focus and get into the game, because that's what I want. I don't want to force myself to stream it in suboptimal conditions, because I want to enjoy the game. I want to get into it. And I love Deltarune, and I want to play this new chapter without problems. So I don't mind waiting. The problem is the forbidden spoilers. Like, Deltarune is such a spoilery game. And it is only one chapter, so it's not like the ending can be spoiled for me. Because it's just chapter 5 out of 7. But still, a lot can happen in one chapter. So I'm worried about the spoilers. But then again, I did wait to play, like the last chapters we got was only a year ago, which is crazy. Chapters 3 and 4, I didn't play those right away either, because I wanted to stream the first 2 chapters, which I had already played before, but I wanted to replay them. So I wanted to stream the first 2 chapters, so I didn't get to chapters 3 and 4 until like a few weeks later. So maybe I can do that again. If I manage to last for those chapters that are getting spoiled, then hopefully I can do that for this new one. Well, I've been platinuming the Uncharted games, so kind of the opposite of chill. I don't know if I could ever do that. How's that been going? Have you platinumed any of the games yet, or are you still working on the first one? Suffering? Yeah, I've considered it a few times, but then I look at the first game, or like I actually look at the trophy list and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing any of that. I like these games, but not that much. You've done 1 and 2? That's great. I don't think I could ever do that. Well, never say never, but I have no intention on like platinuming the Uncharted games, because it seems like a lot of busy work, and you gotta like replay the game like over and over again. And it's like, I'm not really into that, so. You've ever beaten Uncharted 1 and 2 on anything higher than normal? I played them on hard mode, but I know it goes higher than that. There's like very hard mode and then like kill yourself mode. Sorry, no, that's not a very good thing to say, but like I played it on the hard mode. That's as high as I've gone. Thankfully, you don't have to beat them on brutal, only crushing. Oh, okay. I guess crushing is only for the epic gamers who want a real challenge. I think like in that mode you die in 1 hit, so in other words it's essentially realistic mode. Yeah, I don't know if I could ever platinum Uncharted. It's a nice thought, but I don't think I can do it. I mean, I'm sure I maybe could, if I really tried hard enough and I practiced. I'm sure I mean, but that goes for any game. Like, I can get good at any game, really, if I really, really applied myself and I really wanted to. That's true of anybody, really. Anybody can, but I don't think I have it in me. Crushing is bad enough. In Brutal you go down instantly, and crushing it's like 2 or 3. Yeah, that's not too bad. I'm such a reckless player though, so I would struggle. I mean, there are some games though where I do think certain levels of challenges is just beyond my capabilities as a player. Like, cause like I can say all day about like, oh, you all you need to do is just like try harder and practice and you can do anything. I think that's true, but there are some things where I think I just don't think I'm physically capable of doing this. An example of that is I recently was playing Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory for fun, which is the Kingdom Hearts rhythm game. And I'm like pretty good at the game. The problem is that there are certain songs in that game where the notes go so fast. Like, it's mostly, even though it's just pressing one button, you gotta press the button so fast that it's like there is no way I can physically do that while staying on beat. Because it's not, because I can mash a button. I can mash a button pretty fast, but I can't mash a button while sticking to the beat of the song. It's like, how, and I've seen clips of people doing that. It's like, how do you do that? Like, I'm trying my hardest, but it's not happening. That's an example where it's like, I just don't think I'm capable of that. I think it's beyond my capabilities as a player. Yeah, Uncharted 2 was way more chill than 1 to Platinum. Interesting. Huh. The checkpoints are so much more generous in 2 and 3. Yeah, good point. That's a good point. I forgot about that. The checkpoints in Uncharted 1 are gobshite. Still haven't played Melody and Memories yet. I mean, it's pretty good. I feel like Melody and Memory gets a bad rap, and I don't really understand why. A lot of people seem to be annoyed with the mere existence of the game, and I don't understand that, because it's like the only Kingdom Hearts game that's actually a spin-off. So you can largely ignore it, you know. Because like some people are like, oh, Melody and Memory is just taking time away from Kingdom Hearts 4, and I'm like, Melody and Memory is made by a separate team. It's really not. Like, it might be a little bit, but largely no. Also, it is a spin-off. Who cares? I'll admit, Melody and Memory is not a perfect game. Like, it has problems, definitely, but the core gameplay is fun. It's got, like, the Kingdom Hearts soundtrack is really good. So you get to play those. It's good. Is it the best rhythm game in the world? Probably not. I haven't really played that many to really say for sure. But It's certainly not a bad game. I don't understand why people hate it so much. It's harmless, really. Like even if you don't think it's good, it is a harmless game. It just exists. And again, like some people are like, "Ugh," but I have to play this in order to understand the plot. Ugh. And I'm like, the plot in Melody and Memory is literally like 15 minutes long, and you can look up a quick YouTube video to keep up with it. And on top of that, it's probably just going to be reiterated in the next game anyway. Like, there's not that much that happens in it. It's probably just going to be quickly recapped anyway, so I don't get what the problem is. Like, don't play it if you don't want to, but people like get so mad about it, and I don't get it. Anyway. By the way, will you be playing the new Kingdom Hearts remasters? KH3 with PS5 loading times will hopefully be good. Yeah, I actually am. I'm curious that you asked me that because I told Grim, I told my twin that I was thinking of getting the new collection on PS5, and they were like, "But you already have all the collections on PS4. Why would you get the PS5 versions if they're the same collections but bundled together?" And then I gave a list of complex reasons as to why I wanted them. It boils down to the fact that I'm a fan. And I want to, and it's also like, I want to have like the newest versions of the games. I want to have like the newest and most up-to-date. They might run at higher resolutions. Like the frame rates were never a problem, because they all basically run at 60 when playing on a PS5. They're all run at 60 perfectly. So the frame rate isn't a problem. But maybe they'll run at higher resolutions. That'd be cool, because they're only ever really at 1080. And they might and yeah, I just like the idea of having the newest versions. There's going to be they're going to have a completely separate trophy list. They might be like the exact same trophies, but they're going to be counted separately. So I like the idea of getting the platinums all over again because it was so much fun the first time. And then also I like the clean slate feeling. Also, I just like it for the sake of preservation, because having them on PS5, like, that means they're going to last for quite a while. You know, again, the versions I have are just the PS4 versions through backwards compatibility. And again, I'm a fan. You know, I usually wouldn't double dip on games like this, but Kingdom Hearts is kind of a special case. I think I'm allowed to, without judgment, if I make the claim that it is my favorite series, so... I hope they add accessibility settings to 1 and 2, like volume settings. I think they will, because like they actually put a demo of the new version of KH3 only on the Switch 2, because Switch 2 is like the new port that they're doing. But it's the same like version on PS5. It's on Switch 2. So I actually played the demo of the Switch 2 version of KH3, and they actually added the accessibility settings menu that was originally made for the PC version. So these new collections are based off of the PC versions, which had a bit of extra bells and whistles. And sure enough, yeah, they do have the volume sliders. I hope that the older games also have subtitle toggle, because Kingdom Hearts 3 and also I think Dream Drop Distance, they already had the option to remove subtitles. I think even the original version of DDD on 3DS had that. But all the other games from before that, they don't have the option to remove subtitles, so I hope that's something that they add. I hope that's a feature, because that would be really useful. Mainly just for gathering footage for videos. I think footage looks a lot better when they don't have subtitles. And please fix the BBS save menu. Yeah, the Xbox version of BBS got its own, like, Kingdom Heartsified save menu, but on the PlayStation we're stuck with, like, the PlayStation-specific save menus, because that's what it was like on PSP. So yeah, it'd be cool if they brought over the proper save menu. That'd be nice. Not a big deal, because it is just for show, really, but I'd like that. That'd be great. I need to finish the KH3 Platinum before October. Be forewarned, one of them requires that you play through the game with all the pro codes. Or at least with a certain amount of pro codes turned on. If you haven't done that trophy yet, do it on beginner mode. It's still really, really bonkers hard, even if you do it on beginner mode, but do it on beginner mode. Because you gotta have like all the pro codes turned on to earn enough points to get the trophy. Just do it beginner mode. That's what I did. And it's occurring to me that if I want to get the platinum again, I'm gonna have to do that again, so... yeah, I need to get the KH2 Platinum Trophy before October so I can do it again. Yeah. Well, Bendy was a special case for me, but the remaster somehow ran worse than the original. Oh yeah, I forgot they got remastered. Shame that they run worse. It's always a bit of a gamble. Remasters are supposed to be better, but sometimes, in this day and age, it's not always a guarantee, unfortunately. No effing way. Also, Mackerel, you gotta go. Here's a hydrate. Thank you, Mackerel, for keeping me company. I shall hydrate for you. Yeah, take care. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out. It's always nice to have you here. That guy's got an egg. But my expectations are very low, as I said, because of Bendy's remaster. So if they are good, it will be amazing. I've been dipping in and out of the pro codes. I'm up to Toy Story. Okay. Well, you've lasted that long, so that's good. There are certain bosses that are real doozies. Obviously, like, the endgame bosses are nightmares. I distinctly remember the Lump of Horror, the boss from Monstropolis, being difficult for me with the pro codes. I don't remember why that fight specifically. I feel like certain fight that one just sticks out my mind for some reason. Maybe it's because I just like... Maybe it's because I just like them. I just like that fight, so it sticks out in my mind. When I platinumed 1 and 2, it was the hardest difficulties. Oh right, your expectations are very low because the Bendy remasters, yeah. I'm sure the Kingdom Hearts, like the new collection of Kingdom Hearts, will probably be good. I'm not gonna lie, the possibility of them being like worse than the initial collections that we already have did cross my mind. And I was like, oh man, what if this new PS5 collection comes out and it's like somehow worse? Or like they run worse or something. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that did cross my mind, but then I was like, that's very unlikely to happen because Kingdom Hearts games are usually really polished. Like, glitches in Kingdom Hearts games aren't common unless you're actively seeking them out, obviously. They're usually very well made. And the remasters that we have currently are well made as well, so I think it's probably more likely that they'll be just fine. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. When I platinumed 1 and 2, it was on the hardest difficulties, but with 3 I've been doing it a lot on beginner mode. That makes sense. I don't know if there are any trophies that require you playing on the harder difficulties or not. I don't remember. Yeah, the Pro Codes one I did on beginner mode because I just wanted the trophy. I didn't really care about like giving myself the most insane challenge ever. Doing that on critical mode, like, God, I have no idea how anyone could do that, but surely someone has. But yeah, I did it on beginner because I'm surprised that a challenge that difficult is a trophy. Because usually trophies aren't that crazy. I mean KH, by the way. Right. I wouldn't worry too much about the performance, because again, I tried playing the demo of Kingdom Hearts 3, the one that's on the eShop on Switch 2, and like I tried it and it worked remarkably well. Like, it looked great, and I was playing it on handheld mode. I was like, this looks just like the PS4 version. Like, maybe the hair is like a little bit like you know, pixely. Like that's something that's very consistent with Switch ports, is that the anime hair tends to look a little bit odd when downgraded for Switch. But aside from that, it looked just like it did on PS4, and I was playing on handheld mode. But it looks great, and the frame rate admittedly wasn't super consistent. It wasn't locked at 30, so it was more like around 40 to 50 frames per second depending on the area you're in. I feel like it would be better if they just locked it to 30 so that it would be consistent. They should at least have that be an option. But the frame rate was still something I got used to, though. It's like not as consistent as playing the games on PS5, obviously, but like for a Switch 2 port, like it runs. Oh god, I hate that spider. No, not going down there. Sorry. Yeah, the demo for KH3 ran remarkably well. And in regards to the other games like Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 1, all the games before 3, those should run on Switch 2 flawlessly. There's no reason as to why they shouldn't. They're PS2 games. And also, what you said earlier about Kingdom Hearts 3, like the PS5 version of Kingdom Hearts 3 having faster loading times, I never even considered that. And you're right, it probably will have faster loading times. At least a little bit. Right, that's pretty exciting. I didn't even think about that.
They insist on moving everything in sight.
I've always wanted to spend 200 hours whacking Tidus around to emulate a New Game Plus file. Now I can do it twice. I will never do that. That challenge sounds insane, and I know people have done it, and those people are insane, and I think they would agree. I frankly think that they would probably be like, yeah, I'm pretty insane. As long as we all agree. You gotta realize that you're a little bit crazy for doing such a thing. I will never do that. Ever. Like, the only reason I would do that is if you held a gun to my head. But by the time I'm done with that challenge, most of my life will be gone anyway. So, is it even worth it? I feel like that's an easy way to hate a game I love. To do a challenge like that. Also, it's Sonic's 25th anniversary tomorrow, and they've been awfully silent. Good point, I forgot about that. Yeah, I mean, we got an announcement for the next wave of DLC for Sonic Racing Crossworlds, which is cool. And then there's, like, Sonic Pico Party or whatever. I do not care about that at all. Like, it's cute, but I'm probably not going to play that. But that's it. That's all we've gotten so far. So surely they've got to have something cooking for the big 35.
Those bugs. When I become big and strong like you, I'll squash them all.
Until
Aw,
then,
Spyro.
remember that supercharge makes you invincible.
Spyro, you're always going to be little. They haven't even done any Crossworlds this month. I think they do have something planned for tomorrow, actually. I think they do have, like, something, like, I've heard a rumor that they're going to put Classic Sonic in the game or whatever. Like, I think they're going to shadow drop something, I don't know. No more gummy phone, rip. Oh yeah, with the loading screens? Well, with the loading screens in KH3, they load, but you have to press the button to confirm, so you can still read the messages before moving on. So that's nice. Because I like that. I like the gummy phone Instagram stuff. I think it's silly, but I think it's fun. Because it's essentially like a way of characters to, like, recap stuff or, like, see what they think about stuff. It's like when Spider-Man Remastered got rid of its subway loading screens. Well, the loading screens are technically still there, it's just the loading times are so rapid fast you can't see them. I don't think they actually got rid of them. I think they're just so quick that you don't see them. I am crazy. If you want to hate a game you just just try professionally speedrunning it. Yeah, that's kind of a reason why I don't speedrun. I don't want to grow to hate a game I like. I lost my train of thought a little bit. Come here. Come here, your little, there he is. It's the rumors of Sonic Frontiers Definitive Edition are true, then that's... if the rumors of Sonic Frontiers Edition, then it will just be sad. Yeah, if that's all again. Especially because I don't know if you've seen it, but Sonic Frontiers Definitive Edition has been fully leaked in the sense that some people have gotten copies of it. And what I can tell, it does just seem to be a Switch 2 version of Sonic Frontiers. But I've seen what the box looks like, and it's called Definitive Edition, not Switch 2 Edition. Which is just misleading, because there is no way in hell that the Switch 2 Edition is definitive. So that title is just misleading. It does just seem to... I don't even think it adds anything. It does just seem to be a Switch 2 version of Sonic Frontiers with all the updates. But the updates were free anyway, so... I mean, it's cool that it's on Switch 2, but what's with all this Definitive Edition nonsense? We don't need to spend any more time on Frontiers. Yeah, I like Sonic Frontiers, but it's not like it's my favorite or anything. I like it, it's a good game, and you know, if they actually made an actual definitive edition that maybe, I don't know, adds new content maybe, or something like that, I don't know, if there was actually like an enhanced version, which would be weird because the game's not even that old. Then I'd probably get it, and I'd love to play it again. But if it is just a Switch 2 version, then I'll pass. Like, I have a Switch 2, but I got it on PS5, and probably runs better there, so I don't really care. I think you're right about Spider-Man. Yeah, I think the loading screens are just so incredibly fast that they don't have time to show the subway scenes. How do I get over there? I speed ran FNAF Security Breach and it completely killed my love for the game. Yeah, that's something I was always worried about. Like, I don't want to... Like, there's a part of me that kind of wants to learn to speedrun a game just to say that I can. Also, just to try it out, because how do you know you don't like something if you don't try it, you know? I've never been into speedrunning, but maybe it's because I've never really given it a proper go. But I don't want to, like, grow, at least, maybe not grow to dislike the game, but grow tired of it through the repetition of doing the same stuff over and over again as fast as possible. Also, it's so against my usual playstyle. Also, why can't I break this? There we go. It's very, like, opposite to my usual playstyle, which is to take things slow and steady and smell the roses. I spent like 250 hours on The Last of Us 1 and probably even more watching speedruns of it. I mean, you still like The Last of Us 1, right? It didn't ruin the game for you, did it? Because you still seem to talk about it very highly. Sonic Frontiers is a good Zelda game. Yeah, it's very evidently inspired by Breath of the Wild. And I remember when the game was coming out, like, Sonic fans would get annoyed if you made that claim that it's Breath of the Wild inspired, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but it's so obvious. Like, it so obviously is inspired by Breath of the Wild, and that's not a bad thing. Like, no one's saying it like it's a bad thing. I mean, I'm sure some are, but I don't think that's a bad thing. And also, Sonic always takes inspiration from the gaming trends of the time. Like, the only reason that the Werehog exists is because God of War was the bee's knees at the time, and they wanted to get in on that beat-em-up craze. So, like, it's not a bad thing. I like Zelda. It's only really a good thing, really. As Sonic game that's Zelda-inspired, like, great. Two series that I like a lot coexisting, like, I love that. As a Sonic story, I love it. As a Sonic game, it's one of my least favorites. I understand that. The cyberspace stages are a bit lacking. If they were more like Shadow Generations level design, then the game would be virtually perfect to me. And like, the open world stuff is fun, but not everyone's going to be into that. And It is mostly just going around collecting stuff, so... And also, yeah, the combat in Sonic Frontiers leaves a bit to be desired. From someone who enjoys action games, I really hope that's something they work on. Because the combat is very, like, super simple. Like, you've got a bunch of different moves and abilities, but most of them feel pointless. So... by the way, how have you been doing lately? I haven't been around here as much anymore in the last couple of years. I still check the Discord though. Yeah, I've been doing alright. I mean, it's nice of you to like ask. I've noticed you haven't been around much, but I know I'm not like, you know, I'm not like a big streamer, you know, so. But I've been okay. Well, if you keep an eye on the Discord, then I did post something on the Discord recently about some troubles I've been having lately. But other than that, I'm doing better. This heat wave that we're having is really unhelpful and makes streaming really difficult. But that aside, I'd say I'm fine. Loads of games to look forward to, so that's good. Lots of games I intend on streaming. I love The Last of Us 1. The Last of Us 2 is also good, but not as good as 1. Yeah, that's the general consensus. Also, my trophy level is at 297. I think platinuming Uncharted 3 is going to make me hit silver tier 1 tier. Great, you might be higher level than me now. Because I don't platinum games as often as I used to. If it's a game I really like, and the platinum maybe isn't asking a lot, then I'll do it, but... I've been getting some platinums recently, though. I got the platinum for Epic Mickey. I also got the platinum for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth not too long ago, and I'm planning on getting Revelation platinum as well. And I'm currently working on the platinum for Persona 3 Reload. So I'm platinuming a bit more now. But just not as much as before. Frontiers meta is just quick Psyloop and R2 and Force Cross. My biggest problem with the combat in Sonic Frontiers that trivializes a bit is that it's too easy because you can Psyloop to get rings so that you can basically never die. I think there needs to be a limit on how often you can do that. There needs to be some kind of resource or meter that prevents you from spamming it. Also the parry. Like, the fact that you can just hold the parry forever is stupid. Because otherwise, what's the point? They fixed that kinda in the DLC, but it was kind of an overcorrection in some ways. Also, you can only do it during those boss rushes, and it's not a thing that you can just have in the base game, which again is stupid. It kind of defeats the point of a parry. Like, what's the point of having a parry if you don't even time it, right? Are you for reals? No, I think you're at like 350. Got me curious now. What is my trophy level? Also, I recently figured out where to find the PS2 home menu theme. Oh yeah, I'm at 357. 47 platinums. Platinum grinding is basically one of my special interests. That's cool. I like that. I like 100% in games as long as I like them, and that's usually all it takes as long as I enjoy them. Ooh, Crystal Flight. Let's do this. Uncharted 3 will be my 35th platinum, and I only got my PlayStation 3 3 years ago, this July. Yeah, you've been really going for it. Are there any platinums that you're particularly proud of? Like in particular, maybe some really hard ones that took a lot of time? Because I'm curious, because I am trying to think about what my most difficult platinum was. I think Sonic Unleashed, I got the platinum on PS3. So with Sonic Unleashed, it wasn't so much that it was difficult, it was just really time consuming. I guess like doing, because like to get the platinum you got to do all the hot dog missions, which requires you to play through every stage without dying multiple times, which isn't so bad until you get to Eggman Land. So I ended up having to learn how to do Eggman Land flawlessly without dying, and then do it again and again and again. But it wasn't that hard once you learn it. Again, it was more that it was time consuming than difficult. I wouldn't want to do it again though. Unless they made a new like remaster for the game. Then I'd probably do it again. But like I wouldn't do it again on like the Xbox. Okay, there's a rhythm here that I'm not getting. Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. Really? Those ones you found particularly difficult? I don't remember. I got them so long ago, I don't remember what they were like. I don't know. Because it should only really ever get as difficult as doing all the super bosses in critical mode, really. That's like, I think the hardest it could get. There's a lot to do in them. I guess so. You gotta like do all the journal stuff. Yeah, I guess I can see that. I really don't remember. That's why I'm kind of excited for these new collections, so I could do it all over again. I assume that the trophy list is going to be the same. It's just going to be a copy, essentially. Which I'm okay with. I mean, if it ain't broke. I gotta get those aeroplanes. I'm just going to go ahead and get them. Okay. I don't think I have enough time. Oh, maybe I do. Hold on. Oh, no, I got it. Cool. These Uncharted games, Cuphead, Crossworlds. I don't think I got the platinum on Cuphead. I replayed Cuphead for the second time recently. The first time was when I played it on stream. I don't think I got the platinum though. Crossworlds. Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Sonic Racing Crossworlds wasn't difficult for me. It was just, again, long. It was time consuming, very grindy. But not like super difficult per se. Yeah, there's a lot to do in those games. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to doing the platinums again too. I never got the platinums for Birth by Sleep or Chain of Memories. But now I don't want to go and get them now, because I feel like I just want to wait for the new collection and get them there. Because then I'll just do it again just do it again anyway, so... I just want to wait. I want to hold off on playing any Kingdom Hearts games until the new collection so that they feel a bit more fresh. You know, absence makes the heart grow fonder and whatnot. I really want to play Spyro. I just bought it recently. Oh, whoops, I don't. I recommend it. Yeah, Spyro is really, really fun. Very chill. Very simple games. They did announce a brand new Spyro game that's coming out next year. So now's a good time to get into them. I think I'm going to stop here for today, actually. It's starting to get really hot in here. And I've been streaming for a decent amount of time, so I'm going to call it here. We're 47% of the way through, so I might be able to beat it the next time I play this. I haven't either. The only other PS4 KH Platinum I'll get is KH3. Yeah, so you got the main three. That's good. Well, that's... Oh yeah, and Fragmentary Passage. Yeah, Fragmentary Passage doesn't have a Platinum, though. You can get all the trophies, but there's no Platinum. Maybe they'll add one for the collections. Probably not. But that'd be cool. This means that I'll have to watch the Days and Recoded movies again. Which I don't mind, it's just they're really long. I prefer to watch them on my phone, like through YouTube, because then I could like watch them in bed or something. But like I have to like actively watch them on the TV. Okay, I'll see you again some other time. Remember, don't be lasagna. I will. yeah, I'm going to call it there for today. So thank you all for watching. If you're watching this on the VOD, you are also very much appreciated. Of course you are. Let's see. I don't know when I'll be streaming next because this heat wave is making that very difficult. It looks like the weather might be calming down on Sunday, so I might be able to do my usual Sunday stream, assuming I haven't been kicked out of my room by then. So depending on what the temperature's like, depending on the, you know, all that, I might stream on Sunday, but I don't know, so I might have to skip the Sunday stream and just hold off. But that is the plan. I'll probably play more Zelda. But anyway, with that all being said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe, and hope to see you all again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.